Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me, he's back on the show. It's Mr. John Anderson. How you doing, John? How you feeling?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Former fish aficionado, who is now it's still elves. It's still elves. It's all elves all the way down. So it still counts, right? It's still within your bailiwick, as it were.
Yeah, I think we're still in the keyword of elves, so
Mm-hmm.
we're staying on brand. Always be on brand, as a wise doctor once told me.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I mean, the reality is you got to make sure that you're playing with some kind of elf related thing. Absolutely, that's just logical right there. So today, yes, we're going to talk about new Lumineth, the Lumineth Realm Lords. We're going to review the tome, but first, of course, we've got some other stuff going on. There are things this week. Let's talk about them. So first off, a rumor engine with this little gross snail shell, because I hate that. I can't really look at it. It honestly grosses me out. I don't know why it grosses me out so much. I can't explain it. It just does. So I don't like this image. But this rumor engine, we all hope that what this rumor engine is a resculpt of the baby giant. Could it be finally happening? Whenever we get our new Sons of Behemoth book, could we get a resculpt of the ancient, truly ancient baby giant kit? Could that happen?
I went a different direction with this.
I'm ready.
I think this is the next new army in AoS, for the record.
Oh, okay. What do you think it is?
Dwarven paleontologists.
Got it. Just digging, looking for fossils. This is like this.
That's right.
This is sort of a buff model. They're very happy because they discovered an
They
old
found it.
fossil. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Shoots at
Yeah,
18 inches, 4s and 4s.
it makes sense to me. Look, I would be thrilled if we either got a new giant in the mix, call it a middle giant, or if they just threw the old baby giant out and we got new baby giants. I wouldn't care. I have lots of awesomely converted baby giants for my son's army, but I'd welcome the new ones. The old ones are admittedly lacking, hence why I converted all of them and turned them into Frankensteinian sort of monsters. So there you go.
True. They could put
Uh,
them on like the Eidolon base, right? Like, what was the Eidolon on? Like 100 mil or
yeah,
something like
100
that?
mil, right? Yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah, something of that. So you'd have, like you said, you'd have something between babies,
Hmm.
megas, and then Kragnos. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Kragnos doesn't count. He's not real. He is not part of that
Okay.
army.
Okay.
We don't claim him. He can. I don't know who he's supposed to join, but not our army. Get out of here. Get out of here. I mean, given I say that, but like this is my son's shelf right there where the army is. And in the
Mhm.
dead middle of that shelf is Kragnos. He sits there as opposed to like with my Iron Jaws or with any of the other destruction armies that I have. So I guess I'm just a liar.
Free
I
us.
I
Free
keep
us.
him there so that the Giants can all keep a watch, an eye on him, so he doesn't start trying to
Oh,
spread his weird centroid, uh, uh, you know, religion around. We don't want that. No, no preaching. Okay.
I think the last time Kragnos got free, didn't he like break a free city? Like he just like wrecked one. So it's probably good that
Sure.
he stays like right in his box. Just
Yeah, you got to keep him there.
nice
Again, that's why we keep
narrative.
him
Yep.
surrounded by megas. Dyson, he's boxed in. We got
Nice.
4 megas around him,
Yep.
ready to go. So, is it Mecha Kragnos? No, it's just regular Kragnos. I didn't convert him. Um,
That'd be sweet.
It would have been a good idea. I believe I did that Kragnos for competition or something, so I kept it pretty straight. He should be with your Beast of Chaos. That's true. There you go. All right. Next up, but that's not the only new fig we've got. Speaking of elves, what about weird tree people elves? How about that? So now you've got this lady who got previewed here over Valentine's Day. This Grove Guardian lady. What'd you think of this fig? Pretty freaking crazy.
There's and now I say this as not a hobbyist, or well, I am a hobbyist, but not as a
Sure.
uh, fluent hobbyist. But there's a lot going on in this model. Like
There
there's a
is.
lot of stuff happening,
Yeah.
and I'm a little curious on it because the one thing that actually kind of like throws me off on this, first off, beautiful paint job, beautiful everything
Sure.
on it looks cool.
Yes.
The
Yes.
only thing that really throws me off is that she has like the Alarial crown.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a little odd to me because like I thought that was kind of reserved for like the actual elves of Sylvaneth, not the tree spirits. So like I saw that and I was just like, huh, that's kind of cool. Like maybe it's a like breaking off from tradition. But I was like, oh, neat.
I believe the Lady of Vines has a. I haven't painted her in a little while. Hold on. Let me lean back. Lean back. Yeah. She has a semi-similar thing going on.
Okay,
Hers is like part metal and part vine. So,
okay,
but
fair
similar
enough.
shape. I don't
It's
know,
cool.
man. They kill it with the Sylvaneth characters. You're right. There's a lot going on here. Like all the flower buds. We got the extra elf just hanging out in the tree. Like she's not standing on the tree, by the way. She's like growing out of the thing, which is pretty wild. But this is a crazy character. So yeah. Um, I mean, I did not expect a Sylvaneth book reveal over Valentine's Day weekend. That surprised me, but
Oh,
hey, let's go for it. Speaking of which, boom, there's the actual Battletome coming. Again, some random guy on the cover. Truly, truly, they will look back on this edition as the worst Battletome covers, more or less ever. Where we have
amen.
you
Preach it.
have you have a L'Oreal, thigh goddess of the elves, right? And like one of the most impressive models, figures, personalities, whatever you want to say, in all of Age of Sigmar, and you decided to put some random tree guy on the cover. Do you want to sell books? Like, what are you doing here? Somebody walks into a store, he sees this cover. This is nothing. This is zero sales are generated by this cover. You walk in, you see a
Preach
L'Oreal
it.
out there, just ready to like, ready to just crack somebody like a walnut. That's moving paper. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
So,
Amen.
all right.
I do just amen, man.
Yeah, we've gone wrong. Every day we fall farther from the eyes of God. All right. A couple super chats here. Lichfinder General breaks out of Croak Jail, sacks one city, goes back to Croak Jail, doesn't elaborate, era of the beast. There you go. Yep, that sums it up. To be fair, there was like a goblin or something or an orc that had some things in there too, as well as some dragons and stuff. But yes. Hades, I know we don't usually deal with leaks here, but I just wanted to say what GW is doing to armies like Fire Slayers is really disheartening, changing them radically or cutting them completely. Well, I suppose we'll see what happens as a result of those leaks. I have heard some of what you're talking about, Hades. I mean, I have thought Fire Slayers has been on some kind of like, I don't want to say chopping block, but like it's been on the precipice of great change for a long time. I think just because it just doesn't like they've okay. I never want to see anybody lose their figs or their army. That's number one. I'll say that straight out. I think that super sucks. I've lost a lot of armies, and it sucks. But like at the same time, if I was like in their product management group or something, and I was looking at it, and every month I looked at a sales report and I saw this thing was like constantly lagging forever, and I'd have to make a choice, right? And you got to either make a business case of like we can expand this and double or treble its sales, or we got to do something else with it radical or cut it. Like those are the three paths. So we'll see which way they end up going. So there you go.
I didn't
And
see
yes,
any of the Fire Slayers leaks, so I'm not spoiling myself.
sure. Well, I mean, there's lots of different rumors going around, but yes, I there's a particular set that has risen to the top. Hades also said the price of battle tomes is unsustainable as well, way too expensive. Yeah, totally. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, absolutely no pushback on that one, my man. Like, who can afford to buy all these battle tomes and actually understand? And again, taking the rules, the basic rules, out of the app where you could just access them, bad choice. It's a bad call. It's a bad call. Makes it very
A lot
hard
of
to
really
play against
questionable
armies.
decisions like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of why we do these shows because I want to make sure people can like actually have a concept of how these other armies play. So I can't imagine rocking up to a game and you're just like playing new Lumineth, which we're going to talk about today, and you've seen nothing about them, and the other player's like, okay, so
Yeah.
here's how this all works. I'm sorry, what? 15 minutes later, what?
Yeah. You're not wrong. There's
Yeah,
a lot to go
right.
over here, so
So at any rate, Free the rules. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But new Sylvaneth, so that's cool. I imagine probably not too far off if we're getting like the big reveal like this. So good. I had hoped that, like, one of the things I said back on our prediction show was I think they've got to just rock Battletomes between now and the middle of the year when theoretically new 40K comes out, because it'll just suck up all the oxygen in the room. That doesn't mean we won't get any releases. There'll still be AoS releases over the 40K 3 to 4 month hype period. But like, there's not going to be
It's
as
going to
much.
be front and center.
Yeah. I mean, we fall to the back of the party, right? For obvious reasons. Okay. So, I was like, you better get into hurry up offense mode, right? They just like start pumping these things out like every 2 weeks. And I don't know, so far, maybe that's what we're going to hit. I mean, as we're mentioned right now, the Sunday thing was Aussie Arc Bone Reapers next week. So they go on pre-order next week. So apparently we're just doing 3 back-to-back-to-back shows here. Tzeentch last week, LRL this week, and apparently OBR next week. So cool. You know what? Keep it rolling. Let it roll out fast enough. Let me do Sylvaneth the week right after that. That'd be great. It's just
content.
That's right. Feed those hungry content mills. Yes, absolutely. David Canty says LRL versus new disciples of Tzeentch. Who has to explain longer?
Lumineth.
Yeah, I do think it's Lumineth. Although, since having played that matchup one time, my answer is we both started, and I said, okay, I roughly know what you do. Do you roughly know what I do? And he's like, yeah. I was like, cool, we'll figure the rest out as we go. Let's do this.
Yep.
That's not a tournament game or anything, but yeah,
There's been a lot of explaining the rules here, and then the expression from the opponent is, please don't let me step on a landmine. And I'm like, I won't. You're okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Just like, if I'm going to do something incredibly stupid, just tell me, right? And that's the correct way to play outside. Like, unless you're in round 5 of a very serious tournament, there's almost no reason to be playing any other way, right? Like, yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Cool. That's basically the news. So, again, as far as the rest of those rumors go, and we will definitely see, Hades, we will definitely see. Okay. Yeah, I agree. The how shooty is OBR? I guess we'll find out.
One thing,
so many archers in the box is crazy. What's that? Good.
Well, I found this kind of interesting because it happened with Lumineth and it happened with Tzeentch, and now it's happened again with OBR. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's kind of a start of a new trend that we're getting points way early. Like, we're getting points on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
I've noticed that, and I'm welcome to that change. That's definitely a change of pace, though. And I was like, wonder whose decision this was. Because first off, thank you. Second, very cool. Continue, please.
Agreed. This is like, I didn't mention it, but you're absolutely right. The OBR points also came out today. And thumbs up to that. Yes, like, put them out before who cares? You can't do anything with them until you get the stuff. So what does it matter? Like, why are you sitting on your free points that you're going to hand out in a PDF? Like, what's the purpose to waiting for that? It, like, let people actually know what the points are and start thinking about their army and what fits and what couldn't fit, right? Like, it's just helpful. It helps people plan their purchases. It's like actually smart to sell units, which would mean boxes, which would mean money for you.
Yep.
So, like, yeah,
money.
Right. The kind of, I assume the reason that they're doing all of this, it's not exactly the march of dimes. So, there you go. All right. Let's move on to some pick of the week before we get into Lumineth. John, what do you want to share with everybody?
Pick of the week. Let's see. Big shout out to Fred Schmidt. So for anybody that doesn't know, that's interested in it, Fred and his TO team have been setting up an online Teams event for North America. Now, of course, like during the COVID times, we would be interested in playing Warhammer, of course, and we would end up playing with somebody from Spain or Czechoslovakia, somewhere across the world. And it could be a pain to try and set up those games. Well, Fred and his team have done an incredible job at organizing these events over the past couple months. And we're in one right now where we have about, I think, like 12 or 14 teams from North America with a few visitors from, just right across the pond. and really, really cool to see all of the different perspectives on the game and how they look at it and how they interface with the game. And then not only that, but seeing them jump in and just say like, hey, we'd love to play against Mexico, or we'd love to play against Canada, or we'd love to play against Team America, or we'd love to play against the fellas from the Midwest. It's really cool to see, and seeing him be successful with it, it's really awesome. So I'm really proud of him for that. He's been doing a really good job. So that's my pick of the week.
I love that. That's fantastic. Facilitating community and collaboration and helping people play some Warhammer at the same time. That sounds like everything we want. That sounds like a Warhammer hero right there.
Yes.
So my pick of the week, I'm going to shout out my Snarling Badger Studios companion, Uncle Adam, who had a really fun video last week about kit bashing. And specifically, the reason I love it is because he put an alien head on a Space Marine, and he had me right there. Because I grew up when I was in college, and by I grew up, I mean I was in college in my 20s, but I was playing Perfect Dark, and putting the alien head on all the other bodies was a absolute recipe for immediate comedy and hilarity when playing Perfect Dark, which was like the same team that did GoldenEye. That was like their follow-up game for those who didn't ever play it. And it's great. And so that took me right back there, and I was very happy. So it was a great kit bashing video in general, but also put more alien heads on things. There you go. That's my general advice. Okay. So with that, let's jump into a little hobby time. All these armies rolling out. John, what are you working on? What's on your desk? What have you been actually painting up? Have you been working some
So I
new
wasn't gonna
Lumineth?
I have, and I wasn't
Okay.
gonna get caught lacking like I did last time with fish. So,
All right.
for anybody that doesn't know, my wife Michelle, she was a rainer in a past life. She loves horses. She loves working with them. Everything equestrian. She loves it to pieces. But one of her biggest critiques is that the Dawn Riders look silly. They just look goofy to her. And so I've been working on some Dawn Riders, but they are in fact Sisters of the Thorn, because I think the models look significantly better. There's no overhang. And on top of that, they're riding giant deer, which is
Yeah, sure.
objectively cooler than
Mm-hmm.
quarter horses. So, working on some Dawn Riders. The points came down. I think they're quite good. So yeah, that's what I've got 5 of them right here that I'm working on. Got another 5 primed, ready to go. I have been enlightened to batch painting, where you set everyone up beside each other, and you're just like Gorgrunt of Fur, bam, 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 bam. Lothern Blue, bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, this is
Sure.
easy. I could do this.
There you go. And then all of a sudden a unit is just done. That's right. That's right.
Done.
Very nice. My hobby time, I finished up my last project in video a little early, so I decided I've been remiss for too long. It's time to return to one of my true loves, which is giant, massive machines of war. So I am
Perfect.
working on a new knight. Specifically, this is going to end up being a Khorne knight in the end. His armor is all back there in the armor staging area. This is obviously just the skeleton of the guy. And we're going to do a bunch of fun lava effects, stuff like that. There'll end up being multiple videos about these guys because they take me like 200 hours. I cannot do one of these and not make videos out of them. That would not be possible. But right now we're just working the skeleton. We're working on getting some nice toning in there. I think he's looking a little weathered but not rusty, which is exactly what I'm going for, right? I want him to seem like battle. He's been out in the field. He's a Khorne knight, right? Like he's from Chaos. And right now we're hitting that. He's got his little horns, which I thought came out pretty well. So yeah, there you go.
Looks
So that's
great.
just his little skeleton. But yeah, so we're gonna keep on keeping on with him. Little blood for the blood god there. Are you planning on getting the rumored new medium knight coming out? I mean, I have all the knights. I will get all the knights. Do you know how many knights I have in my closet? It's wild. I collect knights, okay? I paint, like probably one of them seriously a year. I think I have like 8 extra full-size knights that I haven't, that are just in boxes. And that's not counting all the extras that I've bought bits and pieces and parts of, like extra legs and bodies and chain saw arms and just like everything in the world, because I love them and they're very fun. They're just a huge project. So yes, I will definitely get one of the medium knights and paint it up. Let's see. Before we leave this section, Puppet Master-ish. Ignore this if it's at all derailing the show, but I'm curious, Vince, how you see AOS doing overall. So basically, you had a local game store owner pair had another of their classic AOSs. Oh, okay, got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, AOS is dying. I see that, another channel. My answer is it's a mixed bag. Okay, it's a mixed bag. I want to do a whole show on this. I think that there are a lot of good signs right now. And John, feel free to weigh on this after I give my piece.
Mhm.
I think that the basic foundational system is the sort of smartest design it's ever been. It's clean, it's effective. If it wasn't for stupid manifestations, there basically wouldn't be judge calls for the most part at most events. Like there are probably 60 to 70% of the judge questions is about how this dumb manifestation works in relation to literally any other thing.
Agreed.
And so your basic mechanics are fairly smooth. I think that the most recent Battletomes have been very, very positive. Tzeentch, Lumineth, we were talking about FEC before the show started. I agree. I thought like FEC was like incredibly cleverly and fun design. Like, and there's Hellsmiths. I thought Hellsmiths was really good and interesting and fun to play, and so on. But I think ultimately the game right now is abandoning its somebody posted in my Discord about how we might be falling into Mark Rosewater's trap. He has like his 20 rules for game design, and number 11 is if you make a game that everybody likes but nobody loves or hates, your game will fail. Right? And that sort of combined with my blue ocean theory that we're just trying to make the same game as like every other game in the market, which is like fast, it's simple, it's easy to play, it's clean, it's effective and efficient. It's like, yeah, that's what everybody's doing. What's your differentiator? And we lost our differentiator, which was like big, crazy, ridiculous, wacky stuff happening, right? That was what set AOS apart. It was just like, it was wild. It was wild. You literally have a thing behind you that says 9 equals 12, which should tell you everything you need. For those who know, that's right? Like that's the kind of stuff that should be happening. But anyways, there you go. Yeah, and so like I feel it's a mixed bag. I think we're going to bleed a lot of players, and I worry about long-term differentiation. There you go. That's what John, what do you think?
I agree. So my concern is that we're gonna turn into like a fantasy skinned 40K game, which is not what I want.
Yeah,
I got into AOS because of the lore and the armies and the rules, and I understand that rules change over time. Of course they do. Things progress, things digress. I saw in the comments that sometimes it waxes, sometimes it wanes, and
sure.
that happens for the game. That happens for players. That happens for communities. That happens. It's just part of life. But what I think we have to be very careful on, and I mean, for all that it's worth, us lowly peons saying it as opposed to game designers that are changing the direction that the book goes in 5th edition down the road or in the GHB and presumably in the summer. I think the thing that we have to understand is like, and you hit the nail right on the head, is that like what brought people to AOS was like the monster mash meta, like
Yeah, just crazy stuff, right?
yeah, right, like Kraken eaters kicking objectives. Like, was it always great? No, sometimes you rolled 3, but sometimes you rolled like a 12, and all of a sudden, like now there's an objective like on the other side of the board, and now we had scenarios like the Vice, for example, or we had Jaws of Galette. I mean, like we've gone from these scenarios that were interesting and that were engaging and like really paid off your expertise like as the more that you played it. And like my biggest critique right now for the game, I guess my official answer is that I think the game waxes and wanes. But my biggest critique that I have for the game right now is that, especially in the GHB, because I do generally play matched play and I go to
Sure.
events, and that's where I play the most.
Yep.
There are so many ways that you can kind of just stand on 2 circles, score 8 points a turn, and then you just like wait for your opponent to make a mistake, and then you capitalize on it, and then that's the game. And
Right.
I really don't like that. Like 8 points a turn, and like at the end of the game, it's like 65 to 50 because one person had a redeploy of a 1, for example.
Right.
And when you're standing on these, when you're just able to stand on 2 circles and score 8 points a turn, and it's just like there's no urgency. Like it almost feels like they've taken away like player choice. Like there's the illusion of choice where you could run roughshod top of 1 and try and get some big charges with 6 smash bats. Yeah, you could, sure, and sometimes it works, like on Noxious Nexus maybe, but like I don't know, like the GHP itself, it's kind of a dud for me right now. And
Okay.
just in my personal opinion, I kind of feel like the game in match play for events, there needs to be like a little more. There needs to be a reason to do something, because like you
Yeah.
you can kind of just like
To
stand
create more
around,
dynamic
and I
play
don't.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like we don't go to events just to stand around and score points,
Right.
but
And hope that the
sometimes
other
that's
guy
like
messes
the
up. Yeah.
right thing to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, I don't care for it, but
No, makes sense. Okay. And I get that. So Sam, I get that, Sam, who said, honestly, the new rules coming out are what finally made me pick up playing against each their own. Yeah, like I said, like core rules in some of the new books, I think are like in some of the best places we've been in AOS. That's the funny part about it, right? That's why I say it's like, I think if you really made me answer, I think right now I would say more than anything, it's a tale of two cities, right? It's the best of times and it's the worst of times. And that's really weird. We've always had like just kind of a general wildness about the game. And now here's the thing. I was never for most of like AOS 1 and 2 and 3, even in, or I say for the first half, 3 probably at least. I was never like sitting around going, boy, what am I going to talk about on the show this week if there's not a Battletome, right? Because there'd always be some really wacky thing you could talk or explore, or like, get into, like how crazy it is to just hand a 5-up ward to anything in the game or something. Could be like it's whole shit the whole show basically, because of just interesting exploration, or like talking about the giant book of artifacts where there's 84 artifacts and 10 of them are
yeah,
potentially playable, right? And
realm spells.
absolutely. And we just don't have anything like that anymore, right? And that's really a shame. So anyways, yeah, I suppose time will tell. That's, I think, probably what it comes down to. I saw somebody mention that like they went over, like that's why they something about like but they went to Old World. It's funny because I think Old World actually is living in a completely different space. I think they are in a blue ocean. Like Old World is complicated and crazy and has like all these like a wild amount of complexity and variance into like its list building and its design and its play patterns and everything like that. Even if usually the mission you're trying to accomplish isn't by necessity extremely complicated. Like that is to say, sometimes it just breaks down to like kill more of them than they kill of you or something, right? And but like that is living in the complexity. It's a different take. Like no one would pitch the Old World as being like, well, it's really simple and easy and quick to get into and everything's clean and clear. Like, boy, that is not true, or the selling point. Right? That's just not it at all. But I think that's a strength, not a weakness, a feature, not a bug. So there you go. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, what a great transition into Lumineth Realm Lords. How about I go back to the actual beginning? There we go. I was testing the thing and didn't put it back onto its original slide. Super chat, Gray Boy. My main game became Conquest. Let that sink in. Oof, that is rough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Conquest is a perfectly fine game. I'm just sorry you have to deal with some of those models. It's rough out there, kid. It's perfectly fine as a game. I'm not gonna crap on Conquest. All right, but here we're gonna talk about Lumineth Realm Lords. So, okay, so this army I hate. Let's just get that out there. We all know it. There's a whole cadre of commenters for a long time. Anytime we would discuss anything Lumineth, they'd be like, there's this whole cadre of folks, this cohort, they would be like, Vince never gives Lumineth a fair shake. He's so biased against them. He really hates them. And you know what, commenters? You're right. I do hate this army. Okay. I have hated it. I continue to hate it. Now, all that being said, this is probably the best book and the most, like, the thing I actually am the most excited to play against out of basically any book they've had thus far. So as a Lumineth hater, the fact that I don't hate this one as much, you should count that as a victory, I suppose. There you go. Before I get into my
You take them in
summary,
small victories.
yes, it's about small victories. That's right. So before I do my summary, John, I want you to you're an experienced elf aficionado. So tell me about exactly. We got all of it together, all the puns. Enlighten us onto how you feel about this book overall. Like, high level view.
I think high level, without getting into the weeds. I think that this book, I made a comment to you before the show started, and I'll pontificate. Ooh, that's a big word for a Tennessee guy. I'll pontificate on it a little bit further. I think that this is an interesting book in that you have strength in unit diversity instead of old Lumineth builds where, for example, like when first book dropped, we had the Fox box. Well, that was awful. It was
Sure.
like 40 sentinels, a couple foxes. You didn't have a lot. And then you had the Teclis castle. And then it kind of, it faded away when we, started not being able to, primal blizzard people and whatnot. And I think that at a very high level that this book rewards taking multiple heroes, taking multiple support units that all feed into one grand tapestry of a plan.
Okay.
And the thing that's really interesting to me about it is that there are some books that I think about when you have like synergies in the book and you're like, okay, I have the baseline synergies that this scroll works with this scroll buffs that scroll does this.
Sure.
And
Your classic
you
power
you
pairs.
all exactly. But that's the thing is you always feel like you're paying for it. Like you're always
Mhm.
just like, okay, well, it's 110 points for this. Okay, well, I got to bring this because I'm bringing this to make this guy feel good, so that they
Right.
can actually like be a full battle scroll, for example. I
The
don't get
engineer
that
and the warp
impression
lightning cannon in Skaven, for example, right? Like
precisely.
your lightning cannon isn't doing anything if you don't bring that extra engineer, and he doesn't do much on his own. Yes.
Right. You would feel like it's a tax almost on like the primary unit that you're buffing, but I never get that. I never get that. Have gotten that feeling when I've been list building with Lumineth, whether it's the Shield Bash for the Venari, whether it's the Stone Mage, whether it's Lyrior, whoever it might be. I've never gotten it's never at any point during list building felt like it's a chore to bring these extra support pieces that help magnify and like boost your power, so to speak, for other units in your book or in your army. And so I find it very interesting because the real strength in this book is that there is so much. I remember the video that Ben Johnson did when third edition dropped, that we were talking about like modular rules, modular this, modular that, and
Sure.
it was the buzzword for the movie. Clearly, like that was the word for the day.
Mm-hmm.
But with how these runes interface with each other and that they're all basically wedges from Magic the Gathering, um, you have like all these different ways that you can approach any given game from the gun. That doesn't have to be like in your lists registration. That's so cool. Like there's so much going on with this book. It's awesome. Awesome.
Very nice. Martin Orlando with a super chat asking, it's been 2 weeks, John. Can you say definitively if Dawn Riders are a meme or not? With 2 attacks and a low save, I am not a buyer. What do you think? Given that you said you're working on Dawn Riders using the far superior, I agree, Wood Elf sculpts there from the old world. I'm assuming you're a buyer.
Marty, I'm even using complementary colors in purple, brown, and white. You
Mm-hmm.
taught me well.
There you go. So I think he's got a high opinion of them. So, but we'll talk about them in detail. Don't worry, we're going to get to all of these units. I will say I am still slightly suspect on them, but I think we'll have a fun difference of opinion there. All right, here's my summary. I think the Lumineth Realm Lords book is a much improved tome, just like Zinch before. Like this really does feel like a new paradigm. I hope we continue like this, as far as like, as you said, the role playing. That is to say, like most units feel like they have a role. They feel like they work in lots of interesting different ways, not just one build, but multiple different builds. I agree with all that. This feels like a superior tome, and yet again makes it feel like everything that came before it, more or less, like the people who were cursed with early edition tomes. Sorry about your luck. Sorry, it sucks to suck, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think just like Zinch, I do think this army has a high skill floor, not as high as Zinch. I think Zinch has a higher skill floor. But I also think this has a very high skill ceiling, just like it. The fact that you have a tactically responsive army and sort of your rune choices and stuff like that, while also having a like late game building strength army. I don't know how to frame it, like potential win through attrition, whatever you want to say. All of that leads to like basically skill is going to pay dividends, right? Knowing the book, knowing your units, knowing your matchups, knowing your rune choices, being able to think ahead 2 turns, all these things will pay large dividends. I think there is a real risk here of decision paralysis. I watched it happen in real time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to occur. But
Yep.
we'll talk about it. The fact that we have this completely new play pattern, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I want to pause here after I say this and just kind of get your thoughts on this one at a high level. This is such a weird play pattern because LRL has this strange mix of like a reactionary playstyle or toolbox, as well as like deep game attrition strength, where like Lumineth in round 5 are just way better than Lumineth in round 1. That's just patently true. Like, to obviously assuming that the units still exist, right? Like, you are now like auto dunking on your like enhanced effects out of your scriptures. If you're running like multiple repeats, they've now gone high enough, you're just getting like maximum bonuses. You've turned everything on for if you have at least like 2 or whatever of these active, you're just like, they're at their absolute paradigm in round 5, right? At the same time, you can just like change what you're going to do. You could show up with like some kind of plan. Well, I'll probably use this in round 1 and this in round 2. That could be your like general plan, and then the rest is kind of loose. And then I go where I need to. But you might even change that game to game because it's like, oh, then I'm matched up against this. Okay, never mind. We're going to do this one instead, right? And it's such a
Exactly right.
strange mix. What do you think about all that?
That's I think the beauty of it. So I think that the decision paralysis is something that you cure yourself. Let me actually hold on a sec. I think that this iteration of Lumineth is I'm gonna show like my nerd for a minute. Much like Riven top lane in League of Legends, the more that you play this book, the more it will be evident that you play this book.
Sure.
Because your decisions are going to be quicker, they're going to be sharper, and you're going to be ready for when the dice go sideways. Because that was always like a problem with Lumineth, is that like if dice went kind of sideways, all of a sudden 20 wardens are gone, and Teclis is like, now what do I do?
Right.
You don't necessarily have that concern as much anymore because you have the ability to shift gears, as it were, with these rune systems. I think that the decision paralysis is definitely going to be there at the start, but as the book goes on, and there's another side of this coin that I'll hit on. I think as time goes on and more people play the book, I think that the people that are not efficient, excuse me, that are proficient with the tome, making the decisions, I think it's really going to shine. The problem with that is that the barrier for entry for this is like up there.
Yeah.
Like if
Yep.
Timmy is getting into the game for the first time and he walks in and he was like, "Hey, I like playing high elves in Total War Warhammer."
Right.
Okay, I have very bad news if you are just trying to play like just very casually to have some fun, because this is going to be intimidating with a capital INT.
Yep.
There is so much here that if you try to digest it too fast, or if you just you interface with it, you're just like, okay, I have 2 pages of battle traits almost. You're just like, now what?
Right.
So I definitely think it could happen. But again, the more that you play it, the more, and that can be said for anything, to be fair, but especially because at some level people will want you to play on a clock, for example. Well, that you made a point before the show that when we're explaining like this is what Varanor does, this is what Alethi does, this is what
Yeah.
Adviliki does. Like you could burn 15 minutes just explaining what your army does if you're
Right.
not fast and you're not
Right.
used to explaining it. So
I agree. All right. So, and well, I think everybody will see what we mean as we get into it. But yeah, my final thought was there's definitely some standout units and just like very cool abilities. There's like a lot of little small designs that as I was reading through, I was like, oh, that's great. I really like that. And so I do want to shout something like that out. That's the kind of stuff that I wish we had more of. There's a couple abilities in here that when I read them, I was like, you're on the right track. More like this.
Yep.
This is the kind of wild stuff I want to see. And there's a couple of those in here. All right. Let's get into the rules. Okay. So, all discussions of the rules, of course, must begin with the battle traits, and boy, do we have a bit of a doozy with this one. So, your battle traits are beginning and end, depict rune, which sounds like one ability, but isn't. It's like 50 abilities, so that's cool. Okay. So
The battle scriptures.
yes, the battle scriptures, absolutely. So once per battle round, army, start of the battle round. I am very disciplined when how I go through my phases. Like when we play, I'm always like, we're always like start of the battle round abilities for me, active player or whatever. Start of battle round abilities to you, start of turn abilities for me, start of turn abilities to you. It's funny that you can get that you're doing so many things before you even get to the hero phase or whatever. But yes, this is start of battle round. So you are picking this at the top, which is good. If this had been start of turn, everybody would be trying to Alpha Strike Lumineth. Just
Get them off. Get them off.
yeah, just so hard. So I'm glad they thought ahead in that regard. Okay. Basic premise here. Every round, the start of the battle round, you're going to pick one rune and quote unquote depict it on your battle scripture. You then get the effect, and if possible, if you have it, because you qualify for it, the enhanced effects of that rune for the rest of the battle round. So they only last for that battle round. However, the rune remains on your battle scripture until either it's removed or replaced by another ability or the game ends, which is relevant because that's how you get add enhanced abilities. Okay. Okay. So, and most of the time, what you're doing when you pick a thing is you're picking 2 units for each instance of the rune depicted on your battle scripture. So again, past instances matter. The first time you pick Varanor, the rune of strength, you get to pick 2 units. If it's the second time somewhere later in the game you've picked Varanor, you'll pick 4 units. Okay. So all good. Okay. So yes, I am going to be enforcing the hard rule with my opponents who play Lumineth that when they choose this, they must have some sort of physical medium with them, and they must draw the actual rune. Yeah, correct. Otherwise, I refuse to accept the rule and will be playing as though it is not in effect. Yes, correct. Wiggle said, "Hey Vince, love the show. Just wanted to ask, this new LRL Battletome, how friendly is this for a new player?" Well, we were kind of talking about it a little bit there, but like not greatly. It's not the worst. It's not Zinch from last week, but it's like at the bad end of the spectrum is my honest answer. It's tough.
Rough.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but it's rough.
Yeah. On the difficulty curve, like if 1 is the best for a new player and 10 is the absolute worst for a new player, 8, 7.5.
Yes.
Somewhere in that space.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. So anyways, what do these runes freaking do anyways? Well, we got Varanor, the rune of strength. You pick 2 units for each instance of the rune, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say that every time. You get to add 1 to the run rolls and 1 to the charge rolls for each target. So there you go. I'm actually going to run through this, John, with just the runes themselves. I'm not going to talk about the enhanced effects yet, because I think it's good to just think of the runes in the void first of like, what are you getting out of each of the main runes? Okay.
I would have stopped you if we did it any other way.
Good. Yeah, because otherwise it can get confusing. Like the way that I had to read this multiple times, I kept trying to read it as presented on the page, and then I just confused myself because I'm going, wait, okay, then I got to read right. No. Okay. So rune of strength, +1 to run and charge for 2 units. That's what we're getting. Okay. Great. Good. Classic buff. You love to see it. All right. Then you've got Alethi. I don't know. Is that how you say that? How do you say these words?
Oh,
Is that right? All right.
that's how I've said it.
Okay, cool. Alethi, rune of the mountain. So you got your mountain rune, same thing, 2 units, blah, blah, blah. And each target has a ward of 5 up. Okay, so I pick 2 units, they get a ward of 5 up for the battle round. Great. So strength, +1 to run charge, mountain, 5 up ward. Got it. Then we've got Yudriliqui. I don't know. The rune of the river. Okay, I'm never going to say these real words again. I'm just going to say river, mountain, and strength and stuff. Okay. Blah, blah, 2 units. Subtract 2 from charge rolls for enemy units while they are within 12 inches of the targets. Okay. That's a very powerful effect. This is like crazy strong. Okay.
Diversionary tactics as a battle trait. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, -2 to charge is like a crazy penalty. That's
Yes.
wild. I felt bad. I was playing against Brendan, and he had this up on his units that I was charging, but I was playing Tzeentch and had lots of fate points, so. Eh.
But you didn't mind.
I didn't
but
mind.
Everyone
But like,
else would have.
For every other player, it would have been a nightmare.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wow, that is Adri-Lay-Key. Okay, neat. So the next one is O-Reali. Okay, O-Reali. It's phonetic pronunciations. Very good. Yeah, exactly. This is the wind rune. This is -1 to hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units while they're in combat with any of the targets. So, notably, like this is one of those weird combinations of words that doesn't mean just to combat attacks, though that's often obviously where it will apply. But like if they have shoot in combat and then try to shoot in combat, they are still in combat and still so would suffer the -1. It is relevant to say, but it's not penalizing incoming shooting from a distance. So just important to understand there. Okay, so strength, 1 to run and charge. Mountain, 5 up ward. River, -2 charge. Wind, -1 to hit in combat. Okay. Great. Very good. Lastly, Thalari, the rune of the Zenith. Zenith? I don't know. Add 2 to casting rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units. That just happens. Yep. In addition, if you have blah, 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 4 or more runes depicted on your battle scripture, you get to add 4 inches to the move characteristics of your units, and they all score critical hits on a roll of 5 up. Okay. That's more like your sort of capstone rune. We mentioned that one at the end. It's technically a base rune, but you're not actually probably going to very often punch the button early in the game just to get the casting unless you're in a very unusual situation. Yeah. You're trying to build up the other 4 most of the time, probably. Okay. So, not thinking about the enhanced effects. John, what do you think of the 4 base runes and like their functionality? Got a little mix of offense and defense here, right?
Yep. Great. It gives you options, which is, you get an audible that you can pull, in the form of O'Reilly's auto parts, or you can switch to 5 up boards, however you want to. It's very bespoke with how you're actually going to approach a battle round at any given time, because of course, you could see like, oh, I lost the priority roll. Well, I need to, we got to pull the ripcord. We got to get some 5 up boards, or hey, I won the priority roll. Let's go Varanor for strength. Let's get some plus to run and charges. So we can guarantee that we're going to get in. I think it's really good.
I think for most people,
the 4 base runes.
Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
No, yeah, for sure. So, I do think that there are going to be times where you just kind of like when you're getting ready for a game or you're getting ready for an event, like there's always a time like in Best Coast pairings where you'll be like looking at your bracket to be like, sure, okay, I could play this guy, I could play that guy,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And in your head, you're just right, yeah. In your head, you're just like, okay, well, if I play this guy, I'm probably gonna pick this. If I play this, I'm gonna pick this. Or if I play Stormcast, I'm gonna pick that. But that's the thing is that like, especially with like how many armies there are in the game, how many ways there are to build each army, it's not just a simple like just start here, go here, because I mean, you could be playing Nurgle and all of a sudden might be rot swords, and now all of a sudden -2 to charge, not really that great. You might want to get the +1 to run and charge, or you could be playing Nurgle and they could have blood flies, and you are just like, okay, well, -2 to charge is actually pretty good here. So there's a lot of options that these present, like that are deeper than just like the initial, you know, Orelai is good against Stormcast, or Adriliki is good against this. Like it's not that cookie cutter. It's great.
Right.
I like it.
Yep. Now I think for most armies, they would have written these like 5 runes that we just read and been done.
Yeah. There's a lot of words on this page. There was a joke that like Gavin and I, we were talking about this, and we didn't want to actually like copy all this into Notepad++, but we wanted to copy. We want to, but we're not going to. We wanted to copy all of the words under the depict rune abilities and see how many books have less words in their Warscrolls than the depict rune page does, because there's a lot.
Exactly. I thought about before the show trying to make like a flow chart, right? Of like how you could the potential sequencing. Yeah, and like my brain exploded. So I was like, nah, I can't. I literally couldn't factor it. Like I can do an architectural diagram for work, but I can't do this.
The way that I finally wrapped my head around it when I finally like started digesting it is that, and I mentioned it earlier, is that it's all just shards of Alara, or like the tribes from Khans of Tarkir. Like it's all 3 colors.
Right.
Like if you put a color to everything, everything is a 3-color combo of some shard or another. That's
like that.
That's the magic way to look at it.
Nice.
You're like, okay, Jund, Jund is this, Abzan is this,
okay,
Patriot is this. Like that was the way that like as soon as I thought about it, I'm like, oh, it's just shards. And then somebody else was like, yeah, dude, it's just shards. And I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, I got it.
You may have just cracked the code for me. Beautiful. All right. I got to figure out which one is my Jess guy and we're good to go. Okay. So because yes, all these runes also have enhanced abilities, and the enhanced ability relies on you having other runes already depicted on your battle scripture, comma, or using some of the other abilities that can make it count as though you have some rune depicted on your battle scripture, and blah, 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 that we'll see when we get later on into the Warscrolls. Okay, but for now, let's not overcomplicate things. So let's assume you're just doing these things in order. Okay? Okay. All right. Spoilers, there will be other ways to cheat around with this stuff, of course, because it's a book, and that's how
it's elves.
Yes, it's elves. It's all elves cheat to some degree. It's just a question of how much.
Yep.
All right. So with our rune of strength, where we get +1 to run and charge, if we already have the river depicted, then we also get +1 to wound on those units. So, simple paradigm, turn 1, you picked river because you thought you were going to get like potentially Alpha Struck or somebody was going to try to charge into you. Let's say they try and they fail because of your -2 to charge. That's great. Then turn 2, you turn on your rune of strength. Boom. You get the enhanced effect. Now you're +1 to run and charge to go out and fight them back. And you're also +1 to wound. Okay. There we go. There's a simple explanation, right? If you also have the rune of wind on your scripture, then everybody gets to use shoot and or charge abilities, even if they used a retreat ability. Okay. So if you had the full pair together, if you had both a river and a wind, when you punch the strength button, then you can retreat and shoot or charge with +1 to run and charge and +1 to wound on your combat attacks. That's your total package you get out of that little 3-color combo, as you were saying there. Okay, very good.
Of note, and it's kind of interesting because we're doing pretty good with like rules being uniform, like general rules being uniform across books. We do still take mortal wounds when you retreat off of this.
Yeah, that is
so.
True.
For example, like there was an FAQ for the Icon of the Storm, like when you Icon of the Storm, Icon of the Seas 3d6 charge. When you Icon of the Storm, when you retreat out, you used to take mortals. They FAQ'd it's where you don't anymore. This might be. I don't see that happening. That feels like a buff, and I don't think this book needs a buff, but that's beside the point. Carry on.
No, it's good. Thank you. Excellent note. Absolutely. Okay, what if we're going down a mountain path, though? Like, what's our mountain path going to give us here? Okay, so we have the mountain. Let's all remember that's our 5-up ward. Very popular choice, I'm sure. I mean, a lot of mountain players, I think. I will say, if you are talking about the easier to pilot version of this army, it's absolutely like leaning into the mountain rune and the mountain units and just kind of like taking mountain and like maybe you splash a couple others in there to taste, but you're mostly just taking mountain. I think there is a more simplified version of this book that plays by that, and that's probably fine. Like it's not the for like your average, yeah, exactly. For like your average Age of Sigmar game, that's going to be perfectly good. Like you got cows, you got Stone Guard. They're very tough. They do plenty of damage. They're just going to get super strong because you're punching the mountain button over and over again. It should be stated. I don't know if I said it, but you can take these runes multiple times, as we'll see. So like you could do strength and then I said it already because you could get more units each time. So strength and then strength. Okay.
Good.
So mountain. If you have mountain, when you take mountain, if you already have the rune of strength, then all of your weapons, all the target's melee weapons, remember it's the units we're choosing here who are getting this bonus, have anti-charge +1 red. Okay. Fine. I don't tend to care much about anti-charge +1 red, but it's a thing. If you take mountain and you already have river, then your -1 to be it's -1 to the enemy's wound rolls while they're in combat with you, which is better than just -1 to be wounded, because it will also impact their ability to wound other units that don't happen to have this particular, that weren't chosen for the buff. So it is notable. Like say you've got a character standing there and they've got, you know, half of their big hammer unit that can still swing on your character, but obviously you didn't pick the little dumb, you know, Caligrave or something to get the rune. They're still -1 to be wounded, which is one of the best defensive buffs in the game. So, yes. Pretty cool.
And it's under the 5-up ward rune too. That's just like,
yeah.
Oh,
that is a very good combo. The old river mountain, good. Okay, I think that's pretty obvious.
I think it's perfectly fine to go river, mountain, and you feel fine.
100%. Yes.
Like, I think you feel perfectly fine with that. You don't have to get fancy if you don't want to. And by round 5, you have like 8 units that are 5-up ward save and -1 to wound.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yep. That's right. Okay. Now, the river rune, which we remember is the -2 to charge within 12 inches. If you have a rune of the mountain already depicted, then you ignore negative modifiers to hit and wound rolls for attacks made by the targets. Okay, so no minus to hit or wound. Cool, great, good, very good buff. And if you already have the wind rune, then each target can immediately move up to 3 inches. They can pass through the combat ranges of enemy units and can end that move in combat. So you get a little icky shuffle type of situation where you could potentially bring more people into combat, switch around where your units are. Basically, you're getting a free. It's not. It's
sort of a little bit of Aether Lust.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there you go. We'll call it Aether Lust. There you go. Yes.
I've been thinking about that all day, ready for it, just for the record. So I'm glad it worked. Okay.
I love it. Yes. I'm glad we were both on like the same page. Absolutely. It was very funny. Okay. And then finally, the Rune of the Wind, which is your -1 to hit for units in combat with those units. If you have strength, this is where you get your base sort of 4 inches to your movement speed on there. So basically, like if you go strength and then wind, everybody is getting much faster. At that point, every time you punch the wind button, as long as there's 1 strength there, more and more and more units are just getting that 4-inch bonus. And if you choose wind and you already have mountain, then you get a big buff to your control score, which I continue to believe doesn't mean anything, but that's fine. So there you go. So there it is. And then designer's note, we recommend noting the runes you have inscribed in each battle round on a piece of paper to keep track of which are currently depicted in your battle scripture. And like, I think there will be all sorts of little game aids that people will make where they can like literally pop the little token into a little thingy majiggy, into a little plastic thingy. Yes.
So Michelle, she has a glow forge, like that big laser cutter.
Oh
It's like
yeah,
sits
sure.
out
Yeah,
in
yeah,
her
totally.
kitchen.
I know that. Yeah.
And that's what she ended up making was it's a wooden sheet, and at the bottom there's dials. Like you spin like the dials for round 1, it's this, round 2, it's this, 3, 4, 5, and then
Nice.
there's a 6th dial. But what could that be for? Oh no, we'll
Don't know.
see.
Could be anything. Really. I mean,
Could be anything.
there's clearly only 5 rounds, so I don't know. It seems impossible that you would need
Yep.
it for anything. So yeah. And then, as we already mentioned, like the Thalari, the trick is if you have 4 or more unique runes, which Thalari would be one of the 4, right? So again, if there wasn't a way to cheat other runes onto your scripture, which I'm sure as we continue to read the rules, that won't happen, then the
No, of course not.
earliest you can select Thalari and have it have its full effect would be round 4, assuming you ran through like doing all of this thing. Like you were trying to be in your Jeskai strength build, so you took like Wind, River, Strength, and then Zenith or something like that. There you go. Right there's how that would work. Okay. These are LRL players. You'll see some painting it with calligraphy sets. Oh my God, I would give my opponent an instant best opponent vote at a tournament if they literally like got out the calligraphy set and started doing the like Japanese calligraphy thing on there, like the big swoopy brush. Man, that would be amazing. I'd be like, well, if you're the best player, I'm going to play here. You just writing that down now. I'd like flip the packet to the back page and just fill it out.
We don't need this anymore.
Yeah, this is fine. I'd like to turn this in, X rounds early. Okay.
Round 2. Just like, here's my best opponent. But like, you still have
best opponent.
3 more people to play. You're like, I don't care. It's not going to beat it.
Trust me, they're not going to get better than this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That does remind me of Kevin Kucharski. He's from South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
When he was playing KO a bunch, he would carry around a giant book for Book of Grudges. Amazing. And everybody that he would play, he would put their name in it. And I remember that was my core memory of him. He was, oh man, I missed that guy. He was a good dude.
Solid. Love it. Okay, so that's how our runes work. We will hold all of those in mind as we go forward. But let's continue. So let's talk about battle formations. You got 4 of them because this is a Age of Sigmar book. So that's how many show up in here. You got your War-Hosted Duality, which is old lightning reflexes. There you go. I've now explained it. Done.
That's it.
That's it. That's what it is. That's if you liked lightning reflexes and want to keep it, then pick this. You have the you've got these guys, Ancient Spirits. Sure. Declare, pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords monster to be the target. For the rest of the turn, ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to each visible friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit in each phase while it is wholly within 12 inches of the target. Obviously, a wonderful pick if you happen to be in running the previously aforementioned mountain strategy. And then you've got your Pilgrims of another word I'm not even going to take a shot at, with Trick of the Light. Like that's all vowels. I don't even know what to do with that. I would like to. I'd like
Ixia?
Sure, why not? It's believable to me. I believe you.
There was an H in there somewhere.
Yeah. That is, first of all, what a fun palindrome. Let me just start there. Okay. Secondly, what is that? All right. Effect, friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units can use the power through command even if they have not charged this turn. This is a great ability. This is a very good ability. This is like a really, really good ability.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Sonari Council. Spell abilities from the lore of Hysh or the lore of the Awakened Realms used by friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizards have the unlimited keyword. However, you cannot pick the same unit to be the target of the same spell ability in the same turn. This is also quite powerful. So for reasons we'll see when we get to the spell lore. So when I played, my opponent chose the Sonari Council one to try to play around with the unlimited thing to see how good it was. It was okay. It was interesting enough, especially combined with the double tap character, basically. Or the tap and a half character, I guess we'll call it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But
I think they're all really
honestly,
good.
all 4 of these are fine. Like,
Yeah.
they're fine. They all of these are lists that I could see using. Like, I can think of lists for all these, which is nice.
To your point that you made earlier about we had the question in the chat of like, is this going to be a beginner friendly book? This is also another like option that you could pick if you do just want it to be kind of like training wheels. You just pick lightning reactions and just call it a day.
Yeah,
Just that's
sure,
it. Lightning
absolutely. Yep.
reactions. You get to fight with 2. Carry on.
It
Flip the
really does
page.
guard against like downside situations when they charge multiple units into you and you get to like you have to absorb 1 fight and then you get to fight with 2 back, for example. Like that's where oftentimes in the like back and forth choice is where newer players will screw up and pick the wrong thing. When they can pick 2 units, it's still a lot more forgiving to fight back.
Yeah.
It's just
Play.
yeah. Yep. Okay. How does the Guardian battle formation work with the soggy beacons of protection? Guardian battle.
Oh, I know the
Okay.
answer to this question because I
Go
asked
for
it.
it.
So
Okay.
it is still the first instance of the damage. You wouldn't ignore like the first and then another. It would
Hmm.
still like they would both get consumed when you hit the first point of damage. I asked that question actually because I was kind of curious about that myself because I was like, 2 Stonehorn prayers sounds really, really good.
I assume they both say ignore the first point, right? That basically.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Same wording. So they both see like the first pip of damage coming in, so they would both just get eaten.
And both trigger. Yeah. Makes sense.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Heroic traits and artifacts. So, our heroic traits. Again, I got 3 of each because, again, this is an Age of Sigmar book. None of this should be surprising yet. I can't wait to open a book and see like 6 and just I'll fall out of my
Dude.
chair.
Like in second
What?
edition where you had to roll like d6 to pick your relic. Oh man, that was cool. All the fish ones were awful except for
Yeah.
Cloud of Midnight. But
Sure. All right, let's see what we got here. So first of all, in our heroic traits, we've got a reaction for you declared the redeploy command for a visible friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit wholly within 12 inches of this hero. Effect, if you roll a 1 to 3, you get a 4. It's one of those. It's one of those. It's a 4. It's a min 4 redeploy. These are always minimally valuable. It's never bad. Rolling a 1 on a redeploy really does suck. It's like a terrible experience. And getting a min 4 is good. It just, as always with these types of abilities, when they're like bubbled like this, it does make you play in weird patterns. And I am always wary of being forced to be in any bubbles I don't want to be in. Then you got the Acolyte of the Runes, which you fire off at the start of the battle round. Pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords hero wholly within 12 inches of this unit to be the target. That hero can be picked as an additional target the next time you depict rune. So hence my earlier example where I mentioned the hero you wouldn't pick because you wouldn't pick him in the 2. Hey, guess what? Now you can get that hero too. So now you get like 3 or 5, the bonus 1 being
X
this
plus
hero.
1.
X plus 1. The X being a hero wholly within 12 of this hero, which could be themselves because blah, blah. Okay. And then finally, the deployment phase. The deployment phase flawless commander. There we go. You get to pick up to 3 visible Lumineth Realm Lords infantry units, wholly within 18 of this unit to be the target, and each of them gets to use the normal move ability as if it were your movement phase. This is very strong, obviously. Pre-game moves are always strong. Yeah, it's like being able to move your pieces potentially out to have objectives that you control in the deployment phase or back or sideways or any which way to adjust to enemy deployment or change around enemy charges or to change matchups. This is good for like a lot of reasons. And the reason I like this one, this is like my favorite one actually, is because the bubble on this is actually really, really generous in that 18-inch range thing, which I like. So that's good.
This is also kind of shades of old like the first book's Alumnia where they had Seize the Field where the wording was weird. So they were like, oh yeah, can I like triple move a pack of Dawn Riders? The answer was always like stop that is always the answer. But yeah, it's shades of that. I quite like it.
That's nice. Yeah, I had literally forgotten that ability existed until you mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, totally. All right, artifacts. We've got the Phoenix Stone. It does this really annoying thing. I hate these artifacts. Stop printing them. There you go. When you die, roll a dice, and maybe you have a good time, maybe you have a very bad time. Who knows? But I hate this artifact. It's just like it's so awful. I guess
Not
maybe
great.
there's like some version of Timmy that likes this, but not me, Timmy. I think this is terrible. Okay.
No, not great. I might be wrong. I've got my old Lumineth book over here, but it's under my paint pot. But I think that old Phoenix Stone was actually an aura that it would check if a hero dies within 12 of the bearer. For some reason, I think it used to be that. I don't know. Maybe not. Could be wrong. But yeah, this is a strictly worse Phoenix down. So,
Nice.
but now I'm curious. I'm gonna go look. So,
Yeah, go look. That's
but
fine.
I'm listening.
I mean, realistically, you're not going to pick it because you're going to pick one of the other two. So, like, because the other two are actually
True.
good. So it's all somewhat academic. The other two are good. You've got your silver wand. It's back again. We all love the silver wand. If they're not a wizard, it can use unbind as if it had wizard one, only unbind. Otherwise, add 1 to casting rolls for this unit. Great, fine. Slap it on a wizard. Get +1 to cast. Winning. Okay. Because turns out +1 to cast. Good. Potentially +3 whenever you fire off that Thalari rune. So that's neat. And then Waystone, which in your movement phase lets you remove them from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within friendly territory and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Obviously a teleport you can just use every round is good. You can use it in combat, which is great. It is only your movement phase. You do have to go to friendly territory, so it is scenario dependent. It's much more like if you're doing a standard like half and half, where this is all your friendly territory versus this is your friendly territory or something. That's very different than like if just that is your friendly territory or something, but whatever. Still not bad. But again, just an always on teleport is a good option. So
I think you could just flip a coin between Silver Wand and Waystone, and you're gonna feel fine either way. Just
agreed. Both have their uses, and it's fine. Like Silver Wand is the thing that I think people will like default to because it's just you're Lumineth. You want to cast spells. This make cast spell better. So
Yep.
Okay, you got your manifestation lore. We'll talk about them when we get to the actual manifestations. The important part to just remember is that it's 6 for the Twin Stones, and then 7 and 7 for the Petrification and the Sanctum of Emnininanak. That one. As I said,
friends like these, who needs a Minotaur?
That's right. That's right. We all know that word. We've all said it a million times in common conversation. There you go. Okay. Spell lores. We got 2 of them because, Lumineth. The hobby collab with a super chat. John, Zach here. Is this your comp army for the foreseeable future?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
For
sure. The battle traits page, Zach, has more words than my Deepkin book.
just writ large, including the lore.
Just written larger. Yeah, including the lore about how like Volturnos like tried to like get your paper up to Marathi Kane after she became a god, and he was just like, I can do it, and I'm like,
you
really
can't do it.
And then we went nowhere with that.
Yep.
But I do respect the hustle. He was just like,
sure.
He called her on it, but then he lost. So here we are.
What happens? All right. So our spell lore, our first one here is the lore of Heish. Do remember as we're talking about these that there is a way that you could turn all of these unlimited. So we need to remember that as we talk about these lores. But I hear dogs incoming, so I'm going to pause here before I start talking about the lore because they're about to come into the room. I can hear the heralds now coming to me. I hear the heralds of chaos. All right, come here, pup. Hey, come here. Lauren, come here, baby. Come here. Don't just stare at me. Hi, Lyra. All right, Lyra, come here. I'll bring you up. The little puppy is too busy playing, so I'm going to bring my dog up instead. This is Lyra. Puppies. She does not want to get up here. She's our oldest dog. She's my dog. There you go. Lyra never goes on camera. Hi, Lyra. She's very good.
Lyra loves Lumineth too.
Mm-hmm. This is she's currently our oldest dog, and she is my dog. She's the one that loves me. So there you go. We'll put her on there. Everybody hit like for the old puppy. All right. You're a good girl. She's very quiet. She's very well behaved. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Okay, you can get down. Florin, you gonna come here? Come here, babe. Come here. Good girl. All right, then we'll do a pup date. All right, and then the youngest dog.
Oh, the young one.
This is the little puppy. She is still, I don't know, what is she now? 5.5 months old, something like that. There you go.
Oh my gracious.
Mm-hmm. Still smells like a puppy. So
Good.
she is adorable and
She's
perfect.
adorable.
Yes, you are. Oh, hi. Hi. Yes. She's very snuggly. All right, everybody hit like if you haven't already. Thank you. Okay. All right, you can go back now. Okay. There you go. Go ahead. Go see them. You can take the ball. All right. All right. There you go. All right. Pup date over. Okay. Yeah, she does. She's growing really fast. I think she's like 45 pounds now or something. So there you go. I got fuzz all over my face now. That's fine. That's just my life. Okay. That's right. No dogs, only old puppies. That's right. That's correct. Okay, so the Lore of Hysh. Our unlimited spell is a Beacon of Hysh. You pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizard, cast a spell, pick a visitor friendly non-monster Lumineth Realm Lords unit wholly within 12. Until the start of your next turn, if the unmodified hit roll for an attack that targets that friendly unit is 1 to 3, the attack fails and the attack sequence ends. Ha. Joke's on you. I play Destruction, so this does nothing.
True. Yeah. That's the buff. It's the destruction buff.
It's a destruction. Finally, now's our time. Immune to this effect.
Rise up.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't hitting on 3s anyways. What are you talking about? 3s? What kind of a dream are you living? No, I mean, this is obviously quite a good defensive buff, right? Because it's gonna to most armies, it's gonna effectively be a functional neg1 to hit without being neg1 to hit. So yeah, there you go. And they can't all attack their way out of it.
Right. As the destruction player, it does allow you the opportunity to like throw something at your Lumineth opponent when they're like, would you like to all out attack? And you're just like, you're funny.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would I do that for? I don't hit on 3s anyways.
Yeah, exactly. No, get out of here. Don't be insane. 4s and 2s for life, baby. All right. So at any rate, okay. So that's what that does. And again, that's your unlimited one, but the other ones could be unlimited. That's on a 6. Then you got 2 of them on a 7. You got Overwhelming Heat, very similar to past Overwhelming Heat, 18-inch range. You have their move characteristic. You roll a die. If it equals or exceeds their save characteristic, it's D3 mortal damage, basically how Overwhelming Heat has kind of always worked. And then Piercing Refraction, where you pick your wizard, visible enemy within 18, roll a die for each model in the unit, each 5-up mortal damage. It's your classic horde thinner. Great. Okay. So
on 5s, pretty good.
Yeah, on 5s. Yeah, absolutely. It's good. Classic. Not a horde killer, but a horde thinner. That's right. Good old 5-up. Okay. Then you have the Lore of the Awakened Realms. Ooh. The realms have awoken. All right. Pick a friendly. Your unlimited spell is pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizard to cast the spell, then a visible enemy unit within 18. -1 to their rend characteristic. This should be noted. This is just to the target, to their weapons. Just -1 to their rend. Ranged and melee. So pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Like -1 rend, great buff. Attack spell is your unlimited spell. Normally I'd be a little angry, but the reality is all of your spells can be unlimited spells if you want. So, okay. So that's fine.
Also range 18. Very good.
Yeah, range 18 on an enemy debuff is good. That's what I want to see. Like if I see an enemy attack spell and its range is 12, I'm like, get out of here. I don't want anything to do with you. You're bad spell. You're bad spell. The difference for an enemy targeting spell between 12 and 18 is the difference between good and bad usually. All right. Then you got Elemental Push, which is a very, very, very powerful spell. Good. Okay. So this is a really interesting ability. You basically you pick your wizard, you cast the spell on a friendly unit wholly within 12. Now, that target has to have not been set up this turn. If the target's in combat, you're -1 to cast. Okay, so it's harder to do this if the target's in combat. But if they weren't set up this turn, so you can legally target them, and they're not in combat, then it's on a 6. Basically, it's on a 7. Otherwise, it's kind of the way to think about it. The target can move up to 5 inches. It can pass through the combat ranges of enemy units, but cannot end that move in combat. This is a wild spell, like really wild. I read this and I was like, I'm sorry, what? This is like doing something
Mm.
very different than what we normally see spells do. This is the kind of crap I want to see Magic doing in a weird play out of nowhere, change the game because you got this spell off. This is so crazy. John, I'm gonna let you just cook on this one for a minute.
So just for all those viewing at home, you can combine this with the rune to move 8 inches before you're done with your hero phase, out of combat, around things. That could
Mm-hmm.
be with 20 wardens, that could be with 10 stone guard, that could be with a Valinor, that could be with the honey badger. That is, anytime that you get to move out of sequence, it should always be like looked at as, this is a like objectively very strong ability. How can I utilize it in my day-to-day practice? I think, in my opinion, Lore of the Awakened Realms, my favorite lore. Between the
Yeah.
three, including the Sog lore, I think it's just so good. So good.
Yeah.
And we haven't even got to the last spell yet. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, this can do like there's very basic stuff like this. Like if they are in combat, you could just and you get it off on the tougher cast, you could push them out of combat and then they're not in combat and they can now go move normally and go do something else without retreating or being locked out from other retreat based abilities. Like it's a very versatile spell. Board movement, pushing people toward objectives, giving 5 inches extra of movement, getting people out of combats they don't want to be in without retreating. Like it just, man, it does a lot. Okay. And finally, Realm Shield, which is their spell on a 7 base. You pick a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizard and cast until the start of your next turn. Friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units have a ward of 5 up while they're wholly within 12 of the caster. This was called something else before, right? Like your 5 up ward bubble.
Protection of Hish.
Thank you. Protection of Hish. That's what it was before, yes. And it used to be 9 inches and now it's 12. Also a material difference, right? It wasn't the last time it was 9, right? As we saw
we
there.
had Protection of Teclis at first, then Protection of Hish, then they took away Protection of Teclis. They buffed Protection of Hish, and then they super buffed it because then it hit like all friendlies, and then now they changed it back to just Lumineth because we can't have nice things with elves.
Sure. Well, look, the important part is, as it says right behind you, 9 equals 12. So there you go.
9
Used
equals
to be
12.
9,
That's
now
right.
it's 12. 9 equals 12. So at any rate, yes, I agree. This is what my opponent chose when I played against him, and like both the push and the Realm Shield were like highly impactful because the Realm Shield backstops the need to use the mountain rune. Like he still had, like, effectively what it meant was he could have a center castle 5 up and still have units on the outside by using the mountain rune. So like he could be spread and still have the 5 up protection if he needed, or make different choices, right? So yep.
There's a question in chat. Google brings up a really good point that it actually is a good shout out. It's not a normal move. It just says you move 5 inches.
Right.
There's no bolds. There's no keywords. It's just pick those models, move them 5 inches. That's it.
Yep.
It is incredibly good.
Yeah, which means it's not paying attention to any of the normal restrictions or anything like that on quote unquote normal move. Yes. Right. That's right. The only restriction it has is it cannot end that move in combat because that's specifically what the spell states that you can't do. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Warscrolls. Let's get into it.
Nothing to see here.
They're fine. Look, they're elves. They do things. They have rules. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, let's get into them. All right. First off, we've got Teclis. Oh, I need to bring my points up because I do have the points handy this time. I remembered I was actually smart this time and got my points handy. All right. Archmage Teclis and Selenar, the spirit of Hish. He is 640 points, 16 health, 4 up save, 5 up ward. He has a battle damage thing that doesn't actually matter. How come he doesn't lose power? My Tzeentch people do. Garbage. Anyways, his rules are broken. Okay. He has
I mean, more or less, but
sure. He has the aura of Selenar. Add 1 to casting rolls and banishment rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizards while they're wholly within 12. In addition, this unit can use spell abilities from the Lore of Hysh, the Lore of Awakened Realms, and the Warscrolls for all friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizards on the battlefield, which is fun thing. He just gets to do all of that. Neat. It is funny when a wizard...
Not unbinds, by the way.
Correct. Yeah, it's just casting and banishment. That's right.
Yep, I don't want anybody to play it wrong. Just casting and banishing.
That's right. It is very funny to me that if you have a wizard with a unique spell, which obviously there are several that do, and that he would absorb, and then that person dies, he's like, wait, what was that spell? Darn it. Can't remember.
Total
Yeah.
half off.
No, it feels like it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Okay.
Yeah. We should do a song about it or something.
Yeah. Then he's got Archmage. He gets to pick one of the following in your hero phase. I was going to say in his hero phase, but I mean, basically, if you're playing this guy, you are playing this guy, the army. You get to either have magical supremacy instead of making a casting roll for the next spell ability used by this unit this turn. You can use a value of 12 that cannot be modified, or you can use drain power, pick a visible enemy wizard or priest within 18 inches, subtract 1 from the power level to a minimum of 0. So basically, once per turn, you either get to weaken an enemy wizard or priest within 18 inches of him, or effectively autocast something. So,
yep.
Okay, cool.
I think this is actually just like this drain power, like casting on 12, cool, whatever. I guess neat. But there's a lot of lists that have like a caster or a priest that do a thing that they need that to function, and if they are all of a sudden like not able to do that thing anymore, like the list kind of like falls apart.
Yeah. That's why magic is dumb and you shouldn't use it, kids. That's just like right there.
Exactly.
Magic, not even once. Just don't do it. Either play all magic armies like Tzeentch, where you would not care about this ability and you're gonna kill this stupid wizard and his dumb sphinx, or don't play magic. Those are your two choices. Okay. Nobody don't put anything halfway. You either go all the way or none of the way. That's what I say. His spell is the light of truth. It's what you think it is. He gets to pick any number of different visible enemy units within 18 inches of him and do D3 mortals. It's his classic Technado bomb thing.
It's good D3 though, not bad D3. So
it is good D3, just straight up D3.
Yeah, it's good D3.
Yeah. Thank you for not making me roll again after I rolled, or I guess potentially rolled, because I might have just done this on 12.
Yep.
And then he's got an ability once per battle, army, start of the battle round. He can use the discs of the Alimentary. Now, importantly, you cannot use this ability in the first battle round. Okay. Must be at least round 2. Okay. But effect, depict a rune of your choice on your battle sequence. Designer's note, this allows you to have that rune depicted earlier in the battle scripture for the purposes of other abilities. Do not resolve the effects of the depict rune ability as part of this ability. There is a smaller diamond on the battle scripture diagram on the rules reference where you can record this extra rune. Why could this be one of the ways you'll get the 6th rune? Maybe. Yes.
It might just be the way.
Yeah, so this is like your classic, like as we mentioned. Yeah, the thing here being yes. So now you basically get to count as having that rune earlier. So, you're going down the rune of the mountain path, and you want to, have the river rune in there so you can have the -1 to wound, but you don't want to waste a turn picking it. I don't know why you're doing mountain path when you've got Teclis in your list, but let's just assume for some reason that's happening. Boom, he can just drop a river on in there, and now you're good to go for all the enhanced effects. So there you go.
I'm really high on Teclis. I know he's 640 points. He's like one of my favorite models in the game. I think he looks goofy. My Teclis that I'm trying to get done from one of the lovely members in the chat is actually using the Stormcast Griffin instead, because I think the Griffin looks way cooler than the like Sphinx chicken thing. But I don't like the primary Varanor rune as much as I like Varanor's sub effects.
Sure.
Like picking Varanor always feels like you're kind of like taking a round off.
Yep.
Because you're like, plus I run in charge. Well, what if I don't want to be running and charging, but I really like Varanor sub effects? Well, you kind of have to like take a round off to do that. Whereas Teclis is just like, hey, we did Varanor, by the way. And now you're like, woo, we got Varanor.
Yeah, I remember. So. Remember when we all got together before the game and we decided to depict a Varanor rune? I remember that. Yep. It happened.
Right in that huddle.
Yeah, we all huddled up, and then I secretly wrote down a rune on a piece of paper and put it in your pocket. Is this your card? Oh my god, it's a Varanor rune.
Marinor.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Surprise!
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine as usual. The problem with any model that's a third of your army is it's a third of your army. It's the same thing as
The
always.
problem is he has the fly keyword. You can't hide him. He just gets
No.
shot, which sucks. So
Nope.
until that goes away, you know, well, we'll see. But
Yeah.
he is a 4-up, 5-up now instead of a 5-up, 5-up. So that's really
Sure.
good. That's nice. I'm glad that he's back to a 4-up. But yeah, I mean, he's still a god model that flies and can be seen by, like, I don't know,
The table.
anything that shoots. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Literally
don't like
every
thinking about
shooting
like
model.
4 Alapexes. I don't like 4 Alapexes being like, that's a cool god model. And I'd be like, please don't.
It'd be a whole lot cooler if he wasn't.
Yeah. 3
Yes.
damage, 3 damage, 3 damage.
Right. Okay, then we get to my actual favorite characters in the Lumineth Realm Lords book. Which is Ella and Ella. So Ella, who I've loved since their introduction and think they're great and have always been a big fan. Like, this page rules. This is my favorite page in the book. I just want to say that straight up. It's my favorite page in the book. A page with the words "Total Eclipse" written on it, John, is now my favorite page in the book. How did this happen? What has become of us?
I'm confused on how this happens, because I have it on good authority that there is an entire page somewhere else in this book that has the twins fighting Kato Ezekar in like a 2v1 duel to the death. That was cool as hell.
Sure.
Hypothetically, of course, in game.
Hypothetically, yes. Okay. So Ella, they've 10 health, 4-up save, 5-up, 6-inch move. They're 2 people walking. They're 2 elves walking around. But are they just walking? Well, probably not. Okay. So Ella have equal prodigies. You get to choose whether Elenia or Elithor leads. Spoilers. Elenia will be leading in the early game, and then Elithor will be leading in the late game. That is what's going to happen here. So great. Basically, if Elenia is leading, you get 1 to their power level, meaning they become Wizard 2, and they have a ward of 4-up, so they're 4-up, 4-up. Good. If Elithor leads, then you add the current battle round number to the damage characteristic of Alatiri to his sword. So suddenly he's wielding a damage 5, 6, 7 sword. So that's pretty good as things go.
It wasn't always you add the damage round or the damage round to your damage characteristic. It used to be like your damage characteristic is the damage round.
Right.
And I never played it that way for like 2 years. And like Walter Brock just finally told me, he's like, John, your sword is like damage 7. It's round 5. And I'm like, no, it's damage 5. And he's like, read your book.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, this is much better.
Yeah, it's way better. So yeah, I mean,
holy cow.
I like this as a very obvious read here of how you play this. It's like round 1 and 2, and then maybe you flip in 3 or whatever. Like, that's just what's going to happen depending on what the board situation is. And great. I also like how sudden translocation works now. It's an end of any turn ability. This unit can only use this ability if any enemy models were slain this turn by this unit's combat attacks.
That's the important change, is combat attacks. Yes.
Yep. So they cannot blazing sunbolt and then teleport away. That is notable. Nor can they cast a spell and then teleport away. They have to get in there and do some swinging with them swords and knives and stuff. In fact, you heal D6 this unit, then remove it from the battlefield and set it up again on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Good. Great. Okay. Fine. And then they have Total Eclipse, which is cast on an 8. And until the start of your next turn, the first time an enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit uses a command, unless your opponent spends 1 additional command point, the command has no effect. It still counts as having been used, and the command points used to spend the commands are still lost. Fine. On a single character, on an 8 to cast, with an 18-inch range, and triggering on the first time an enemy unit uses blah, 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 is exactly how I asked Total Eclipse to be fixed back in the day. This is fine.
Yep. They did like change the wording around. It's the same effect as what it was, but they kind of like brought the verbiage to be more in line with like current vernacular.
Yep.
The The one thing that when I was playing around with it, that I did actually realize is that if you as the opponent just burn a command point, you don't have to burn two. You can just spend one, burn it, and pop Total Eclipse if you really want to.
Right.
If you just feel so inclined, like the time that I would think about that is like at the end of a turn, going into the end of the turn, you could just be like, I'm the last activation. I'll just all out attack to burn it, so that way I know for sure going into the top of the round, even if I lose the priority roll and you make me go, I'm not under the eclipse anymore. So
That's right. Angry Murloc,
little
yes, they did remove that. You don't have to switch who's leading after the teleport. So
yes, they did. Yep.
Yep. It's two completely separate abilities now. You got to teleport. You got to who's in charge. Great. I like it's clean. I like how they work. Okay. And then you have the Light of Eltharion. Holy crap, this Chad. Oh, by the way, Ella and Ella are 290 points. Yep. This absolute Chad, the Light of Eltharion, also 290 points. Giant points up on this guy for reasons we will find out in a minute. This is like one of the single biggest percentage point moves I've ever seen, right? From like his jump up. Okay. Why? Well, for reasons we're about to see. He's a 3-up, 4-up, so extremely survivable foot melee character. Extremely survivable. He's got all his weapons. His weapons are good. They are, 3 damage weapons with crit 2 hits and potential bonus rend against things that are decent enough, like hero and monster and stuff. He ignores all negative modifiers to hit and wound rolls, which is great. So he's always on 2s and 3s. Wonderful. Fantastic. But now for the sauce. This is pod racing. Valorous Intervention. Any combat phase. Which blows my freaking mind. Declare, this unit cannot use this ability if it is in combat. Okay, cool. Pick a friendly unit that is in combat to be the target. Effect, remove this unit from the battlefield and set it up again within 1 inch of the target and in combat. Wild. Absolute wild. Martin said with the super chat, is this the strongest ability ever printed? No, obviously there's been many much more stronger abilities printed. Is this one of the coolest abilities they've printed in 4th edition so far? Yes, undoubtedly. Unfreaking doubtedly. Like, this is wild. John, take it away. Thoughts?
I can't believe that this is about to happen, but I have to be your foil on this.
I'm ready. Go for it.
I don't actually like this guy as much as Sog Eltharion. Now, that being said, when Sog does rotate out, I think this guy's an auto include. I don't think it's close. I think that you find the points for it somewhere and you slot him in. But in my understanding of math, 2 Eltharions is better than 1 Eltharion. That's the way that I understand it. Now, to be fair, Sog Eltharion does of course have 1 less health. It's 6 as opposed to the 7 in the book. However, there is a lot of strength in Sog Eltharion's ability to send himself out, do damage, potentially die, and then come back. Whereas the Honey Badger, which that is what I will not be referring to him as the Light of Eltharion. He is the Honey Badger. Whereas with the Honey Badger, he has a 3-up, 4-up, which is obviously as defensive as it's probably going to get. I mean, that's like a Primarch invul save.
Right.
That being said, he's still just 1, and you could roll poorly. I mean, it does happen. So the fact that Sog Eltharion is still in the mix of things, I'm still probably taking Sog Eltharion over this fella. But as soon as Sog rotates out, I'm going to break land speed records registering this guy in all my lists. Just full disclosure. So,
yeah, I mean, I agree with you that the Sog Eltharion is also great, but like legitimately, this is exactly the kind of ability I love on people. Like, this is so much fun because the play pattern on this is so hard to play against, right? Because like just a charge where they get a slight toe onto something that you don't want to have them fighting, right? Like, you have some Dawn Riders and one stupid Dawn Rider gets 2.9 inches away from something that you didn't want them, that you as the player don't want the elves in combat with, right? Because it's vital to your strategy in any way, shape, or form. And all of a sudden, coming screaming out of nowhere is this lunatic, right? Like, because that's it. Like, that's all you had to do to trigger it, right? Suddenly this lunatic comes roaring in. And you know, it is notable that the thing you're going to do this the most often to is the thing that the he's getting his bonus rend against, right? Most often you're trying to kill some hero or monster or both or whatever. Yeah. I think this is the worst, just throwing him in against. What's that?
You can't use it if he's in combat. So if somebody
if he is
tags
in,
him,
yes, correct. So you got to kind of keep him out and ready to go in.
Transmission out. Correct. Yep.
You know, hopefully you get him like in your perfect world, right? Your Dawn Riders came in, they're going to fight some unit. They tagged something at 2.9 inches, right? And you can then set up Eltharion on the other side of that dude where he's alone, right? Because he doesn't have to be near that unit that brought him in. And so, like, he's on the other side of that hero or whatever you're trying to kill, and he just assassinates that thing. And now he's free to go do it again next time. Hopefully. Okay.
Yeah, the Adrillian Eltharion deployment system Riverblades are a nice little combo. So.
Excellent point. Yes, the Riverblades absolutely being another one that'll just absolutely trigger this guy in a heartbeat. Yes, 100%. Yep. All right, Lyrior Uthrael, the Warden of Ymetrica, 7 health, 3 up save. He's a wizard 1. This is the first time we're going to see he has weapons. Most notably, I think fun about his weapon is the anti-demon +1 rend on his Demon Bane sword. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense given the name of the thing. Why aren't we doing more of that? Why was that not a thing since the moment this edition started? I don't mean just like anti-demon. Not specifically anti-demon, but like anti-whatever, right? Like that actually harkens back to older Warhammer and like the idea that weapons to like Lord of the Rings, right? Like you've got these weapons that are made to kill specific things in the world. So I want to see more of this. So just, you know, quick shout out. Like it's way more interesting. It's obviously less useful and very specific. So I know it's more flavor. That's just my inner Timmy talking. But like, I like that kind of stuff. I would love to see. Yeah. What I'm asking is, where's my anti-elf weapons? That's all I want to know.
I mean, demon's a keyword. Elf's a keyword.
Yeah.
Hold on. We just saw anti-priest with Nurgle, right?
It's true. Yeah. I'm saying any of those words down at the bottom, we could do an anti. Where's anti-order? All right, or whatever. Okay. Like some chaos blade that's just like hates all order. Like that'd be great. Anyways, do more fun flavor stuff like that. It's weaker than the other things. Like Crit Mortal is like a 10 times better ability than anti whatever. Right? So who cares? Anyways, that's just Vince's rant. Okay. He's got Champion of the Lord Phoenix. As I said, this is the first time we're going to see this kind of an ability, but certainly not the last. While a visible friendly Venari unit is wholly within 12 inches of this unit, okay, you are treated as having 1 additional instance of Varanor Rune of Strength depicted on your battle scripture for the purposes of abilities on that unit's war scroll, which is like, well, what does that matter? Well, we'll see in a minute. Okay.
It's probably nothing.
It's probably nothing. I wouldn't worry about it. And then if that unit is picked to be the target of a Depict Rune ability, you can apply the enhanced effects of that ability to that unit as if you had an instance of Varanor, the Rune of Strength, depicted on your battle scripture. So there you go. And then he has a Strike First spell. So that he casts better if he's in combat, which is a neat little fun kicker. So there you go. Okay. Kragnos would be perfect to get anti-order weapons. Tori, come on. Don't give them good ideas for a bad model. don't.
Gordrak.
Yeah, let's say exactly. Gordrak. There you go. Thank you. Yes, let's not cast these pearls before swine here with Kragnos. No. His ability should just all be companion.
5 Maw Crushes.
100%. Okay. So this is a cool thing. I think this is one of those things that, like, it's a very obvious piece of design. I'm glad they discovered it. This will confuse people. That's a part of the thing when I was talking about, like, the floor of this. Like, a new player picking up this book and reading it, this is, like, complicated text that it's going to be very hard to interpret what's going on with this. So.
Yeah, they're gonna think that you just get an extra Veranor rune. That's not the case. You get a
Right.
Veranor rune for the purposes of a scroll. We'll talk about in a minute. But I think Lyrior's real kicker here is that until it's changed in the core rules, if you have Lyrior, you do theoretically have the ability to fight with 4 units before your opponents fight with 1. Because you would lightning reactions, there's no other legal strike first targets, you swing in with another one, and then you would get your first normal activation, which would then lightning reactions into a 4th unit.
Yeah, yeah.
So pretty cool. Kind of cheese, but it's there, so go for it.
Yep. I imagine that will be a quick FAQ question. Now, how exactly it's going to get answered, I couldn't tell you. I think somebody else will ask that question. I think you could very well have the correct interpretation, or they could go the other direction and say like, no, there's no other legal target, so you don't get to pick a second thing for your lightning reactions or whatever, reflexes or whatever. Yeah.
And I think that was an FAQ for lightning reactions. Was they were like, if there's no other targets, you can't pick somebody that's not. It was like you can't pick someone that's not eligible to
Yeah, I believe that's
fight
how they
like
went
in the
previously.
subphase
Yeah.
that you were. Yeah, yeah.
But obviously we changed the way all that works, and so that went away, and now we got to re-answer the question again. Okay.
Yep.
Then we've got the generic Venari Lord Regent, the same guy on his weird little antelope elk thing, but not named. He as well has
It's a light
some weapons.
courser.
What is it?
It's a light courser.
Sure. It's a, like antelope elk anteater
It's
thing.
okay, buddy. I think you look cool, buddy.
Oh, they're fine. I think it's a very cool looking mount. It's a combination of a bunch of weird creatures. I'm not nothing wrong with it. All elves are writing combinations of weird creatures. I'm here for it. Okay.
Edward.
I for one, people have mentioned like the hippo riders as a joke. No, I want it. I want it. I want it for real. Not just straight hippos. They'd have to be like Feldergriff from Magic the Gathering, like weird flying hippos with like
little wings.
With like little wings.
Much too small wings.
Yeah, much too small wings and like lion manes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Way over the top.
Yeah, like that sounds great. Okay. So, at any rate, this guy has lead the charge. You can reroll charge rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units while they're wholly within 6 inches of this unit. 6! That is a very small bubble. That is a very tiny. He has got to be in their business because he's not like a huge base. He's on like the larger cav base. So
he's on a shark base. It's not a lot.
Yeah. I guess for the 5 Dawn Riders, literally right next to him, they can take that bonus. So that's nice. And then once we're battling your hero phase, for the rest of the turn, you can add 1 to hit rolls for this unit's attacks and subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit. Fine. Leary Roar is 250. He got way more expensive because the rune depiction thing, messing with the rune ability is like really strong. Yep. And the Venari Lord Regent is 110. I love the delta on points there between I apologize. 150. I was thinking the
foot one's 110.
Foot guy. Yeah, foot guy's 110. I love the delta there of 150
it's better
to the 200 and whatever the heck I just said, 250. So wild. Yeah. What do you think about both these guys, like especially given their points? Like, do either of these guys find a home in lists? Let's talk about your general Venari stance. They both are obviously pretty Venari aligned. So
yeah, for sure. So just as a spoiler for everybody, you're going to see it in a minute. So the Blade Lords get bonus Ren based on the Veranor runes that you have, and so obviously the shoehorn is that you play Lyrior with Blade Lords, and all of a sudden you're like Ren 2 in battle round 1, and if you pick Veranor also in battle round 1, you have 2 instances for the purposes of the rules, so you could be like Ren 3 Blade Lords on turn 1. Like that's the gimmick. But the thing is that like that happens automatically, and I don't remember if it was before the show or if it was during the show that we were talking about it, but it doesn't feel like a tax for you to be able to make the Blade Lords better, because you would be taking Lyrior in that build anyways, because his spell is pretty good for like 4 Blade Lords. So it's less of tax and more of like a bonus, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's like an end of year bonus instead of having to like pay the IRS, because nobody likes paying the IRS. And that's kind of the reason why I think that like there's 3 heads of state. We'll get to the other 2, of course, but I think that's the reason that you saw their points like go up the way that they did, is because it is, if you are building for that effect, it's very good. Like, I mean, you could, like we were talking about, you could go like river, mountain, 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 and you could go river, strength, 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 strength if you
Right.
really wanted to, and you could have blade lords at like Ren 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have Ren 6 blade lords. Why? Because you could. Why not? Sure, go for it.
I'm all about it. Wait, Lichfinder General. Someday people will notice that the mounted Venari Lord Regent is a woman. Oh, really? I don't own the model, so I had never seen it close up. I've only ever seen this picture, and the shield is like very much blocking off the figure. I didn't know it was a woman. Well, I apologize. Okay, she then. Yes. Cool.
Huh?
How about that? Neat.
How about that?
Is there a headless option where you can see better? I don't even know. I've never, like I said, like, or helmetless. Sorry, helmetless option.
Vintage elves confirmed. Vintage elves
Yeah.
confirmed.
I want headless options for all of the elves, and I will be collecting them. No, I meant helmetless. Sorry, like they have for the Lord Regent on foot. They gave the helmetless option in the box. Again, I don't know these models because I've never painted a Lumineth model in my life. Okay. Venari Lord Regent on foot. This is the one we just mentioned, 110 points. Shining example, each time a friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit uses rally, you get 3 extra rally rolls. Classic sort of bonus rally thing. This is relevant for a thing that we're going to see in just a minute.
It's a special tool for later.
Yes. I will be honest with you. On its own, I find anytime I hear that you can make 3 additional rally rolls, I sleep. The only one recently I found remotely interesting was the one where I could use it on the chicken. Okay.
But Vince, what if you could rally in other ways?
And yeah. Then I would probably, I'm back on board. Okay, which we'll see. Yeah. So next page. And then they have this really weird ability. They power pair with wardens. And effectively, what you're going to set up here is that in the combat phase, once per turn army in the combat phase, you can make a unit of your wardens cast, it's the best way I'm going to say it, an unbindable horde thinner on the enemy they're facing.
Shield bash, like Ard Boys.
Yes. They have a shield bash. So like if you've got, let's say you got 20 wardens still alive and you manage to get all of them within 3 inches of the target unit, you're going to roll 20 dice and every 5 up's immortal. There you go. Yeah, it's just shield bash.
6 mortal wounds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, mathematically. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
I think he's significantly better than his lady counterpart on Light Courser, to be fair. He's cheaper, easier to hide. I think his abilities are more relevant for some stuff that we're going to talk about in like 30 seconds.
Sure.
And I also think that sculpt is cool. Very cool.
The sculpt is pretty good. I'm not going to take that away from you. That I will give you. Yeah. Yes.
Now, I will say, I think it's the alternate sculpt that I like more, like where he's kind of like ready to throw down. The one where he's got like his helmet off and he's just like, I'm the Venari Lord Regent. I make you shield bash. Not as hype, but the red one with his like helmet on, cool. Very cool.
I mean, this one's just straight aura farming, right? Like just this version is
for
just
sure.
100%. Okay. All right. The Enlightener.
So cool.
Yes. The Enlightener and the Lord and the Wind Seeker. The Point Seeker, the Score Seeker. There we go. Got to there. We got there. So Cenarian Enlightener. The Enlightener is 180 points. Didn't change. It's a wizard too, so that's pretty good. And they have weapons and they don't matter. Yeah. Once per turn army reaction, you declared an unlimited spell ability for this unit. Wasn't there some kind of ability to make all of the spells in your lore unlimited? That's weird. Yeah. That's weird.
Vince, I think there just might have been.
Yeah. You cast a spell and on a 4-up, you get to do it again. That's the best way I can describe it. That's the cut through the thing. Cast a spell, roll a die, 4 up, double dip. As usual, it can't hit the same model because that's what the unlimited thing says. So there you go.
They do get a
Fine.
chance. You would get a chance to unbind this if you were the opponent. By the way, this is a second cast, so you
Right.
could, if you had unbinds to spare, you could try and unbind this second iteration. Just for the record,
Because it uses the
seen,
same. It specifically says it uses the same casting roll, so you'd have the same target number. That's right.
exactly. Yeah, I've seen like some LRL players that are like, oh, it's just a bonus cast. You like nobody gets to interact with it. It's not true. It's cast keyworded, or it's spell keyworded. You can unbind it if you have the unbinds to do so. So
yeah, no, on a 4 up, you put a copy on the stack. You got to have a second unbind, a second counterspell to handle it, but it can still be counterspelled. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
100%. And then you've got Clarity of Thought, which is their unique spell that's on there. Pick a visible friendly Lumineth Realm Lords infantry unit wholly within 12 till the start of your next turn. Attacks that target that friendly unit cannot score critical hits. Good, very good, and obviously pretty strong. Like
not ethereal blessings, but yeah, it's good.
Sure, I mean, again, very enemy army dependent. I think if you were going to do a warden type build, I would want this on there because things like crit mortals scare the living bejeezers out of me when I'm if I'm a warden player, because those little boys are still kind of fragile, and so something like this actually does make them quite a bit more durable when combined with the other things you're going to do. So, although I'll be honest with you, I don't like wardens very much and still don't think I would pick them. I just think the other units are more interesting. But hey, teach their own. Even with their like weird shield bash combo and stuff like that. The Sonari Score Seeker, he's still got his independent operative. You can remove him from the battlefield and set him up again on the battlefield more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Get out there, get those objectives or whatever you're doing at the beginning of the game. Great. And once per battle army, your movement phase, he gets to pick a non-faction terrain feature within 3 inches of him. And for the rest of the battle, so he can just walk around and be like, that one, that one, that one. For the rest of the battle, add 1 to casting rolls for units friendly and enemy while they're within 3 inches of the target. I love that this dude literally walks around turning things into old arcane terrain. Just that's what he does.
Man, dude, old terrain features. Oh, do you remember? All right, I'm sorry, this is my rabbit trail. Do you remember when we got the Christmas terrain features that one year? Where it was like, you give your opponent, like you either get, like you both heal D3 because like you give them a present, or you both get coal and you both take D3 mortals. Like Aurora was arcane plus mystical. Like it was both
I do
bundled
not
into one.
remember this. Wow, this totally.
Oh, dude, man,
I gotta go
it
back and
was
look this up.
so cool. I don't remember what it was called, but it was in Christmas one time that they were like, here's festive terrain rules, and I'm like, these are awesome, and then we never used them again.
Yep. Oh yes, I'm sorry. I said once per turn. It is once per battle. Thank you, Namatheros, for correcting me. Yes, they get to make one thing arcane. I apologize. I said the wrong thing there, but that's fine. Yeah, this guy's cool. It's fine. He's 140 points. I honestly don't think that he's going to be included in most armies, but there you go.
It's cool.
The Caligrave. The Caligrave has once per battle army reaction. You declared the depict rune ability. You get to replace 1 instance of a rune on your battle scripture with one of the other base 4 runes. So you can go back and once per battle, you're taking this guy so that once per battle, you can be like, remember when I said I took mountain? No, you don't.
I lied.
I lied. I said river earlier. I wrote it down. Check your pocket.
Is this your card? This is
exactly.
mountain crossed out. Yeah. River with a backwards R.
Exactly. So yes, it's just yes, they are Wizard 1, but you're basically picking this dude if you pick this dude, which I don't think so. But anyways, maybe you've got a different opinion. I don't think this guy makes the cut. He's 130. It's fine. But like generally, I don't think you're going to need to swap this around too often. There are certainly strats. You can hit a lot of enhanced runes a lot easier with this guy in there. That is very true. But I don't know. My feeling is probably a pass.
I think he's really cool in like auxiliary Lumineth. If you're like 7 drops, that's pretty cool.
Sure.
But no, apart from that, I don't. I'm not. I'm not too high on the Enlighten, or excuse me, on the Calgrave. I'm not really high on the Enlightener either because she took away my ethereal spell. But whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he's fine, but no, I think that you have other heroes that you want leading your regiments, and I
Yeah.
don't think he makes the cut, in my opinion.
Agreed. The Cathalar, a sad girl.
I got so excited when I saw Darkness of the Soul. I was like, it's back, and it's not.
It's not. Once return army, your hero phase, you get to pick an enemy unit within 18 inches. And then you get to roll a die to see if anything happens with your once per turn ability. And if you roll a 1 or a 2, nothing happens. Is the Caligrave a bonus wizard? No. Or bonus hero, sorry. No, Gooball. The only bonus heroes are the Light of Eltharion, the Banner Blade, the Venari Lord Regent, so the one on foot, right? Those are your bonus heroes. So there you go.
It's your foot fellas who aren't wizards, I think, is the
basically
parameter.
Yeah. Yep. So also Wizard 1, also a pass. Did I say the Cathalar's points? I'll say them again. 130. There you go. They're both 130. They're both 130. Not going to be here anymore. Okay. The Venari Bannerblade, who is?
I hear you like rallying.
Yeah. Who is a bonus hero, and I think will get played. Yeah, just has one ability. Like, it has some attacks, don't matter. Like, yeah, it's crit mortal or whatever. While a visible friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit is wholly within 12 inches of this unit, it can use the rally command even if it is in combat. Fundamental rule of the game being broken here. Very, 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 very strong. Crazy strong.
Yes. Love it. Great. He could have no attacks. I'd still play him. Just full disclosure. He could have nothing. He could actually just be like wholly within 12 of like this 40 mil. You get to rally in combat. I'd be like, sick.
It's 140 for a token. Right.
Yep. Sold American. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, this is obviously an extremely strong ability. Did they not feel they could fit the picture of the model in? Could they not find they painted a banner blade and just like lost it? They couldn't find it that day for model photography. What happened here?
I thought that was the joke because the only thing is the banner.
Right.
I thought that was the joke of it. It's like he doesn't matter. It's his cool looking like tech or not Teclis, Tyrion banner. Like, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a ridiculous oversized banner, but it's like faded out, like it's in the background. They didn't even just do a picture of the banner. Like, it's such a weird choice. It just looks like he's an invisible stalker or something. Anyways, the banner blade is 140 points. Namathero said, "Don't you think he's a bit expensive? VLR plus him is 250." I mean, I think in certain builds, no, because I think the value you get out of it, being able to just like refill your units, especially with the kind of other things we talked about, is so crazy good. Like being able to roll 10 dice potentially, because obviously you've probably also got a maybe depending on what you're rallying, I suppose. Do they have any? I mean, I guess I should know. Do they have any musicians in any of their units? I don't even know. Okay, nobody knows how to play music in this army. That's fine. So yeah, 9 dice is like really good. Okay.
We got standard bearer in the ponies, and nothing else matters. So
yeah, there you go. Well, how about that? I never really thought about that before, but yeah. Anyways, okay. Then you got wardens, your classic baseline wardens. How'd we do this time? All right, been struggling for a role. I mean that not ROLL since they lost their I'm special because I have a 3-inch reach and whatever. So wardens. Let's start with the points. I gotta scroll down here. Wardens are 10 for 120. You got your pike and blade, 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage, crit mortal, of course, anti-charge plus 1 rend, blah blah blah. If this unit has not charged this turn, ignore the effect of the charge plus 1 damage ability for combat attacks made by enemy units that target this unit. Okay, fine. I mean, like, it's not the best ability in the world, but it's also not the worst. That is something that a lot of hammer units rely on. They're still 20 guys with 1 health each on a 4-up save. That is what's going on. Like, I am not a buyer on wardens. Yes, I think you can do a warden build. Yes, I think you can like have a bunch of amazing stuff happening. I think it's kind of a good money after bad situation is my take on it. I'll probably be proven wrong. I've already said this is not my army, but that's just my thing on it. I just generally don't like taking an average unit and like trying to soup it, but they can be souped up. So prove me wrong, I guess.
I'm not gonna say prove you wrong, but what I will say is that 120 points for crit mortals is, I'll take it.
Sure.
I'm not like building my church on wardens, so to speak, but I do think that they are fine. I think they're okay.
Okay.
I don't think they're like Namarti thralls. Like if that's the barometer, I don't think they're thralls.
Sure.
But
No,
like
that's
I think
completely
we're,
fair.
yeah,
Like
like
my
we're
guess
somewhere
is we're
between like thralls and like steel helms.
okay. Yeah, like on a 1 through 10, I'd give them like a 5. Right. So I guess I'm betting we're not actually that far off on our opinions here.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I'm a little biased just because like I always enjoyed, so like my favorite subfaction was Alumnia, which the entire shtick for Alumnia was like ranks of wardens, ranks of sentinels, being just
Sure.
like expert conquerors. Like that was always my shtick. I love wardens, I love sentinels, I always have. So I'm a little biased, but yeah, I think I wouldn't give them any higher than like a 6.5. So
Yeah. Fair. That's fine. All right. Let's go back here. Boop boop. Speaking of sentinels, they're sentinels. They have an 18-inch range. They're on 3s and 4s with 2 shots each and crit auto wound, obviously. So not crit mortal. Thank God we've still not lost our minds to that at least. And they can choose to basically in your shooting phase. So importantly, not off turn. But in your shooting phase, they can choose to basically still loft and go to 24 inches, but then they're on effectively 4s and 4s instead of 3s and 4s. So there you go. Yeah, but otherwise they're a bunch of 1 health dudes with 5 up save. They're shooters. You know, they do what they do. 10 of them for 140 points. They're fine. Again, I think they're actually perfectly good. They you know, they put 21 arrow or sorry, they put 41 arrows in the air quite effectively. On crit auto wounds does a lot of work. Like that's a big bonus, especially when you're on forced wound. So being able to take, you know, like 7-ish of those and just have them go straight into damage. So like not even worrying about it. Realistically, you make 41 shots, you're gonna hit with, you know, you're gonna hit with like roughly 21, and of those 21, 7 are going to be auto wounds, and then you're gonna wound with 7 more, so you get about 14 damage out of the unit on rend 1. That's like not terrible at all for a shooting unit. So again,
they're
pretty
also
simple
not
back
super
of the
expensive
napkin.
either. Like
No,
140,
yeah,
it's fine.
140. They're fine. Yeah, they're fine. So yeah, it's fine. Namathera says the problem with for Sentinels is the size PF their base make them lose a lot of range and exposes them. Oh, because they're on like a 32 mil. Sure.
Yeah, they're 32-inch shooters. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, they have a big footprint when you have 20 of them. It's no doubt. Yep. The Star Shard Ballista is 120 points.
Neat.
Mm-hmm. I still don't see this thing. Am I missing something here, John? I read this and I was like, uh-huh. Okay.
I mean, all right. So hold on a second. So right, let's cook. Let's cook.
Okay.
So 4 attacks.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll 4 6s.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So now we got 8 hits. Yeah.
We got 8
We're
hits.
obviously targeting
We're
a
gonna
monster,
wound.
so we're the full Ren 2 damage too, of course.
Let's target a scar brand, as it were.
Sure.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
We're gonna wound all 8 times.
Yeah.
He's gonna fail all of his saves. He's gonna fail
Yes.
all of his wards. We one-shot scar brand. We're done.
There it is. Okay, we got there. For 120 points, you can one-shot Scarbrand. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep,
Don't quote
absolutely.
me.
Yeah, I am pretty sure
John
this
said I
thing
can do
is.
this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is still a skip. Like, I don't know what this thing is, but okay, great. Next. Blade Lords. Obviously 2 health, 4 up save. No more perfect strike, as someone mentioned earlier. They just have crit mortal, 3 attacks, 3s and 4s, rend 1, damage 1. While any friendly Sonari heroes are wholly within this unit's combat range, they both get a ward of 5 up. So very cool. They become 4 up, 5 up. Obviously, you're going to have a hero near them, probably the one we talked about earlier that bonuses them. And yes, they get +1 to rend for every Varanor rune of strength depicted on your battle scripture. So yes, they start at rend 1. Why not? You could be rend 6, 7, technically, I guess. Probably. If you got the bonus one.
If you picked Varanor every time, plus
Yeah,
Lyrior, it would be
if you pick
rend
5
7.
runes of strength and have Lyrior, you can be rend 7. Okay. There you go.
Sold.
I mean,
For
it's
the
a
record,
strategy.
everyone, I don't think you need it. I don't think you need anything higher than like rend 3. Just for the record, please.
Sure. But like, it is funny that we have written a unit that can get to rend 7. That is funny. Just like the existence of the thing is funny. So that's cool. Oh, he's not a Sonari hero. That's right. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's the Sonari heroes that grant the ward of 5 up. You're right. You got to have a wizard. Sorry. Thank you very much. That's fine. Because it's not Venari hero, it's Sonari wizard. Thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Namatheros.
Notably, the twins are both, though, for the record. Y'all can do with that what you will.
The twins are both. Okay. But yeah, anyways, these guys are fine. Like, Blade Lords are perfectly good. Realistically, yes. A couple of instances, the Rune of Strength, including one that you auto-wrote on there, is very good. Obviously, these dudes getting in and chopping at rend 3 is great. Like, that's pretty great. Blade Lords are 5 for 150, so they are expensive. I mean, that's just kind of the story of a lot of the infantry here. Dawn Riders. 3 health, 4 up save, move 14, still very fast. Charge +1 damage, crit mortal, 2 attacks, 3s, 4s, rend 1, damage 1. So still very scary combat profile. And they have their Dawn Rider charge, basically this, down written ability, just like some of the Chaos Knights and stuff have, where if they charge, they get +1 rend. So they go to rend 2, damage 2 on the charge. Again, assuming they don't have any kind of thing that would shut that off. Crit mortal. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a traditional, scary, heavy cav hammer unit. Like, yep, it's what it does. But they're 5 for 180, even with their reduced price, which is not bad. It's like, in the span of this book, it's actually not a bad price. They're a better deal than the Blade Lords, for sure. For sure. Okay. But I
like having
go ahead.
rend 2 damage 2 cavalry. That's really my sticking point on them. So like rend 2 damage 2 was really what was the rock you built your church on with Morsar Guard back in the day. Like they were like it's my Twitter handle, 3s and 3s R2D2. And you can do that with just like with the with the Varanor rune, you're getting +1 to runs charges, you could be +1 to wound.
Yep.
You would be 3s rend 2 damage 2 again, which like we haven't forgotten. I mean, and you have crit mortals as well. So I mean, it's not insignificant. I think that the Martin asked earlier, like if my meme about Dawn Riders is if I'm still sticking to it. I'll elaborate. The reason that I like Dawn Riders as much as I do, and the reason that I think that they're one of the standouts in the book, is that I think, in my opinion, Dawn Riders soak the buffs from this book better than the other scrolls do. I think that Dawn Riders use retreat and charge better than other scrolls do. I think they use plus to wound better than other scrolls do. I think that overall, including the spell lore, Dawn Riders do what you want them to do at 180 for 5, or you could go to 360 if you really want to reinforce back. I mean,
I don't think you reinforce these guys. No, I think that having run a lot of like 10, trying a lot of 10 knight units, not in this army, but of a very similar damage profile, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Right.
I think that's suicide.
I think that what the Dawn Riders do is they can stand in the buffs and they receive all of them, and at move 17, because you could give them +3 inches to move, or I mean you could give them +8 inches to move with push plus the rune. So now you're going, I don't know, 22 inches before charges. That's pretty cool. Like that's like and on 5 ovals too, no less.
Yep.
That's another thing that I think that has kind of gone a little bit away the dodo, but like I did it a lot in 3rd edition with Drakespawn Knights. Drakespawn Knights was like I stole it from Roger Barker, full disclosure. So like, hey Roger, hope you're doing okay. I miss you, buddy. But when I played Fish, I would ally Drakespawn Knights in because they were on 5 small ovals and you could string them cohesion long ways, and they were a perfect screen. And that was great. Like you bought so much real estate with 5 small ovals going long
Right.
ways that you could protect your entire castle for like 180 points. Like, sure, okay, why not? So
Yeah.
I that's the reason that I am like just full. So everybody now knows why I've been saying like I stand Dawn Riders. It's because what the book is trying to do in your battle traits with your lores, with your abilities. I think that the Dawn Riders help you um help you complete that objective better than the other scrolls in the book. So
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with all your points, and honestly, the biggest thing in their favor is that they're 180 and not like 200, which is what I would have guessed they
yes,
would have been had I like looked at them. Just had I read this sight unseen, I would have guessed 200, right? Based on
yeah,
every other point in the book.
charge plus damage and crit mortals. I mean, like we saw that with bull centaurs. Bull centaurs
Right.
are like not this. I mean,
Right.
granted, I think that I don't remember what bull centaurs were like 10, maybe. I don't
10, yeah,
something
Their
like that.
base move of 10, yeah.
So
I mean, they can also get a lot of bonus to charge and stuff like that, which is it's my straight comparison to them would actually be like Chaos Knights. That I think that like obviously Chaos Knights have a much more favorable health profile, coming in at 4 health each and stuff like that, and a better save. But the problem with these is they give your enemy such an like my main issue is they give your enemy such an obvious pressure point. Like they have the similar sort of Ren 2 damage to want to always be charging. The second you run up against anybody else who's also fast or who's also maneuverable or who's also tricksy and can flatfoot your knights, they can just really shut them off in a big way. It's like way harder for these guys to fight themselves out at that point. Again, if you're in the right rune sequence and you can like trip, punch the retreat and charge, okay, we're in a better place.
Sure.
Yes.
To be fair, if they're gonna pull off 15 wounds on a 15 wounds on a 4-up, 5-up, just presuming that you have the ward on them, I don't know. Sure, why not? If they're gonna pull off 15 wounds on a 4-up, 5-up, they're probably gonna pull off 20 wounds on a 4-up, 5-up, which is the largest of any reinforced unit that you have in your book. So it's like I'd rather have the movement. Frankly, is kind of what I'm getting at. So
sure. Yep. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I will give a strong wait and see to these guys. I'll be honest with you. My read right now, I talked about this with John before night when I gave my opinion. My overall read is that I'm really not interested in almost anything in the Venari section, except I think the Sentinels have a basic utility because they're a good ranged threat unit that forces your opponent to move. Like, that's it. Honest answer. I think they're all fine. I don't think any of them are, like, bad. I just think they're all, like, fine at best, like Av. I read it as very Av. So, okay. Yeah, exactly. Like something like Zangor and Lighten are an absolute nightmare for these guys. Okay. Riverblades. No, Duralius. This is the... Okay. This is the Zephyr Blade. All right, so the Riverblades. Yeah, the Riverblades are... Oops, I scrolled away from them. Sorry. They are 10 for 140, and they do what they do. They can once per turn army in your movement phase, remove this unit from the battlefield and set it up again on the battlefield, wholly within 6 inches of the battlefield edge and more than 9 inches from any and all enemy units. If you picked to depict, oh boy, the Rune of the River on your battle scripture this round, you can instead set them anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 from all enemy units. And then they still have their once per turn army, any combat phase. I move 2d6 inches and get the Light of Eltharion into combat, wherever he wants to be. You don't see that text on the bottom, but it's there. It says it right afterward. Yep. It's in like invisible ink. If you put your UV light on the page, you'll see. Yep. It just says start C Light of Eltharion. Yeah. So there you go.
I actually would have appreciated on their picture, because like we talked about the banner blade, I kind of would have appreciated if like behind them you just had like Eltharion peeking out from behind a wall.
Totally.
Just like,
yeah, just like leaning in, just like whoop. Yeah. Just
what's
like
going on over there, boys?
Complete low poly, no effort Photoshop. Just like took the picture of the model, turned it 40 degrees, and then scooted it slightly off the page. That would have been absolutely perfect. Anyways, I mean, these guys are good. They're obviously very good. They were always good. They still are good for the reasons they were good before. They're good. They provide a lot of board presence and utility.
Did get nerfed a little bit. It's once per turn army now instead of
Yeah.
just being able to like teleport with everybody. But I mean, we all kind of saw that coming, so who cares?
Yeah, they're all trying. Like every book now is going to try to stop any instinct to like spam. As you said, they're trying to make you go wide. Fine.
Yep.
Right.
Hey.
They're a perfectly good unit. All right. Let's get to the stone. The stone boys. So we got Avalanor, the Stoneheart. Yes. Now this. Yes. Oh, there you go. Good. 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 All right.
For 2. Good job, John.
Yeah. So the army I played against was largely stone. Like my opponent took Avalanor and Unnamed Cow, and then 3 units of Stone Guard and a Stone Mage, like 1 reinforced and 2 like 20 total Stone Guard. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways, Avalanor 16 health, 3 up save. He's got a bunch of stuff going on. He's got his Fire Stealer hammers, 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 4 damage. And he is another one of these guys. While a visible friendly Alareth unit is wholly within 12 inches of this unit, you are treated as having 1 additional instance of Alareth, Rune of the Mountain, depicted on your battle scripture for the purposes of abilities on that unit's war scroll. And if that unit is picked to be the target of a depict rune ability, you can apply the enhanced effects of that ability to that unit as if you had an instance of Rune of the Mountain depicted on your thing. So there you go. Yes, the Rock Jocks. Oh, there you go. Yes, Rock Jocks. Solid sickness.
Man, that's better.
That is really good. Okay. So, and then what does this guy have? Well, he has with the force of a landslide. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's Fire Stealer hammers for each instance of the Rune of the Mountain depicted on your scripture. Great. Great. Fantastic. These guys weren't awful enough beforehand with their massive 4 damage hammers that just crushed my units whenever they touched them. Why not have like 9 attacks? Why not? That's my question to you. Why not have like 9 attacks? Right?
Why not 12?
Yeah, sure. Why not? And then he's got a rampage as well. If he didn't charge, you can pick an enemy unit in combat with him. You roll a die on a 3-up for the rest of the turn while that enemy unit is in combat with him. All attacks made by models in that enemy unit within this unit's combat range must target this unit. This is actually very useful. He has a taunt. Is this our first official taunt that we've seen put in the game? This is another good ability. Like, he's a tank. Give him the tank ability. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. So,
very good.
Yeah.
He did go up to 4s and 2s to hit, which kind of sucks. But I mean, monster profile, so I get it.
Sure. Avalanor is 420 points. He's a big boy. 420 blazing. All right, great. So for 1 rune, they get +2 attacks. Yes. Okay. So the Stone Mage, your little guy, your Alarith Stone Mage, who is 130 points. Whatever. He's a guy. He has a stat profile and attacks, and they largely don't matter. He's a Wizard 1. His 2 abilities: once per turn, army, any combat phase, you get to pick a friendly Stone Guard unit, and then they get +1 rend, but can't pile in. So I guess whether or not you use this ability depends on how smart your opponent was when they charged into combat.
This used to be on a 3-up, by the way. Like,
sure.
It used to, like, you have to like hit the 3-up for this to happen. But now that it's just for free, like, yeah. I mean, if they just like full crash you with everything, then sure, use it. And if they engage their frontal lobe and you're like, I can make my guys run too, by the way, they'll be like, hey, I probably shouldn't do that. And you'll be like, roger that, man.
Right. And so, like, my challenge with abilities like this is always the case that, like, they're very opponent dependent. And so, like, against bad players, it'll be valuable every time. And against good players, it'll be valuable 0 time because they'll know how it works. So that kind of thing always drives me a little crazy.
It's the same with the Shield Bash, too.
Sure, absolutely, because the way
Yeah.
the 3-inch trigger works,
Yeah.
100%. Like, you can as somebody who played a lot of, Ard Boys, I watched people just be able to abuse the heck out of that. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Um, at any rate, and then he's got Raise the Earth, pick an objective within 18 inches of this unit to be the target, then make a casting roll until the start of your next turn. Each time a non-fly unit, friendly or enemy, that is contesting the target objective uses a move ability, inflict d6 mortal damage on that unit after that ability has been resolved. So, okay. I mean, anything that says d6 mortal is pretty good. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. The Stone Mage is fine. You'll probably take one if you're doing an all stone army, and you probably won't take one otherwise. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. I agree.
Alarith, Spirit of the Mountain. So your generic cow mountain, 14 health instead of 16, still on a 3-up save. His Stoneheart, World Hammer, his big smacker, only has 4 attacks base, but it's 5 damage. 4s and 2s, Ren 2, all of that. He also gets the +1 to the attacks characteristic of his World Hammer for each instance of that rune depicted on your sequence, on your scripture, whatever. And then his little rampage is he does mortal damage, basically. And it's better if the enemy he's doing it against charged him.
Yep.
So
it's cool.
There you go.
I like them both. I think Avalanor and the Spirit of the Mountain is fine.
Yeah, they're both really good. They're both very scary. Like, they're problems that the Alarith, by the way, is 340. They're both units that have to be answered. The Stone Guard. I love the Stone Guard. Stone Guard come in 5s, obviously, still. And they're 130. Same price, didn't change. 2 attacks, 3s and 3s. Rend 1, damage 2. Great. 4-up base save, but as long as you've got 2 or more instances of the Rune of the Mountain depicted on your scripture, their save characteristic becomes 3-up. Which is a great thing, because then they can still benefit from other abilities like defense and stuff, then go down or get that bonus, as it were, effectively. So, yeah, I mean, they're just good. They have like a very solid, no silliness. They have like no silliness to their attack profile. What I love about these guys, about the Stone Guard, I think, is that they're just like, there's no BS. They're very how do I say this? Like, they don't need a lot of other stuff to be effective.
Self-sustaining.
Yeah. Self-sustaining, yeah. Self-sufficient. Yep. There we go. Yeah.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I think they are, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty cool. And obviously, like, you know, because you can get to the 2 instances pretty quick, even without them being in range of the guy. But if they are in range of the guy, you just get there even faster, and always so much. So, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Next
Stoneguard and Dawn Riders are really where I'm looking at right now. Like,
that makes
starting
sense.
Out, right?
That makes very much sense. Yes. I mean, that's classic, like, you know, sort of like attrition anvil and mobile hammer combination, right? Yeah.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, sure. Cygnus, what I love about them is their helmets. No BS, all the bull. Yes. Then we got our Wind Temple. You got Severeth, your old Lord of the 7th Wind. He moves 18 inches, 10 health, 4-up save, 5-up ward. He does the same thing we've talked about before, but for the Rune of the Wind. So for your Huracan units, fully within 12, blah, 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 the same thing. This is your, like, you got, as you said, you got 3 guys that do this. Here's the 3rd one. He also has, once per turn army, any shooting phase, Spirit of the Wind. If this unit used a shoot ability this phase, this unit can move d6 inches. Add 2 to the roll for each instance of the Rune of the Wind depicted on your battle scripture. It cannot end that move in combat. Very funny to me. I like that it's once per turn. I like that they have to be the ones that shot this turn. So if you're going to use an enemy phase, you had to have counter shot with them. But it is also very funny to me that they could just like still zip out of there, just like d6 plus 10 inches or whatever, 12 inches is pretty hilarious. Like, just a crazy move. You're not going to take that many instances of the Rune of the Wind ever, but it's cute. It's cute. Realistically, what it'll probably end up being is like d6 plus 2 if you're using this guy, or d6 plus 4, something in that range, which is fine.
He lost his shoot proof outside of like 12, which really hurts.
Yeah.
That's kind of my concern. He's like,
he does fly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. like you got to be like, to be fair, he moves 18, so you can kind of like get where you need him to be, like after positioning him pretty defensively. But I mean, he still can be seen by like everything on the board, which really sucks. But it is what it is.
Sure.
I think he's good. I'm not gonna dog on him. I think he's pretty good, but it doesn't really fit the way that I think that like I think if you went like Stone Guard plus Dawn Riders plus something else, I think you're gonna spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
I think you kind of like pick like two aspects of the book, so you could go like Stone Guard and Severeth with Ruse, I guess.
Sure.
Probably not what I would do, but I mean you could, and I don't think that that's like breaking yourself too thin. So, just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the issue is he is going to catch every shot.
He's
Like
gonna get shot by, like,
all my Death Shrieker rockets are just going straight at this guy without hesitation. Just like he trips every ability I want. I'm getting the full 5 damage rockets out on him. Like just it's gonna look like it's gonna look like the launch of like the Operation Enduring Freedom or whatever into Iraq, where you saw those missile batteries firing off on CNN.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his
or
problem.
Desert Storm or whatever. Yeah.
He just explodes, which is just like rough because he is a lot of points too, and
yeah,
so like
he didn't change. He's still 340.
Well, it's just like it always feels bad because like you could just like slot into somebody that has Death Shrieker rockets, and you're just like,
right.
Well, this sucks.
Yep. Well.
Yeah.
What do I have to keep him away? 30 inches? Oh boy. Oh boy.
You just like have a gentleman's agreement, be like, I won't shoot you if you don't shoot me, and then the Chaos Dwarf player's just like, I lied.
Yes,
and
exactly.
then Severeth is dead, and you're just like, dang it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we're liars. That's what we do. That's like our whole thing. Okay. Then you got the Wind Mage. Relevant stuff on the Wind Mage. He's still got his teleport spell, and he can make another Huracan unit, but 3 Huracan units technically, run and shoot or charge. So, okay, cool. The Wind Mage is, what is he? Still 140. He didn't change either, points wise. Then you've got the generic Spirit of the Wind. Still 18-inch move. 4 up, 5 up, but only 8 health. Still a monster, still fly, so still rough with even less health. The damage characteristic for his Bow of the Wind's Vengeance is 3 if he targets monsters. Like this guy's, their role they gave this dude is be a monster hunter, right? That's what they decided. Anti-monster on the bow, extra damage on the bow, that kind of thing. He can also do the I Fly Away ability and gets affected by the Rune of the Wind. And his little rampage can, on a 3-up, can give somebody strike last. It's fine.
I like his rampage a little bit more than Severeth's. Like because obviously, of course, there's the factor that you have to have like done damage to him with your bow, obviously, of course. But at the same time, it's kind of like because that happened. It's weird because it's a shooting phase rampage.
Yeah, the fact that it can be used at such range, and he doesn't have to like be in combat with them, is really nice. Even though it is on a 3-up, it's still like, okay, that's probably worth it. No, I like him better than the named guy. Honestly, he's 270, which is still like pretty expensive for what you're going to get out of him. That's like a really rough points to health ratio, but I mean, being able to pop around strike last and potentially have multi-activation and the strike first shenanigans we talked about earlier, there could be something there. It'd be a very, as you stated, and I agree with you, it's a very careful balance you're trying to do now, fitting all these different masters in the list, but, I don't know. It's possible. Then the Wind Chargers, they are your anti-cav unit, which I always love. I love fast-moving anti-cav. I'm actually a super big fan of that because just cav are generally enemy hammers. So being able to actually do good damage to them is nice. Standard, it's like 12-inch range, crit auto wound, +1 rend against them. And then when you have 2 or more instances of their Rune of the Wind, you add 6 inches to the range characteristic of their bow, which is actually a pretty magical bonus to me. Moving them from an 18 or 12-inch range to an 18-inch range, it's the same thing I talked about earlier with spells. Again, don't hate these guys. They didn't change points either. 5 for 160. It's fine.
Agree. I'm a little lower on them because they lost the ward strip arrows, which I think
the ward strip
really
arrows is a big deal. It's a big
that
deal.
that was like a big reason that you could like look at them like for it just generically in a GT. There were so many wards that were out there in the world that like a reinforced brick of wind chargers could like very easily like hunt down. Like 2 years ago when I was high on night hunt, like wind chargers, please keep them away. Like now, I mean, anti-cav is good, crit auto wound is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like that
Sure.
was what you got in exchange for ward strip. But I think if you ask me, would you rather have anti-cav and crit auto wound or ward strip? I think given that they're like a role player in the book, I think that I would rather have ward strip personally. But that's just me.
I would have liked it if one of the rune combinations could give this back to them in some way. Could have given the ward strip back to them in some way. That would have been a nice.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, I agree. The I know there's like probably a bit too much ward strip in the game, but like I would have been fine even if maybe they had changed it to like reduce the ward by 1. Right? That would have been
Oh,
fine.
sure. Yeah, that'd have been fine. Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. Like, great. You punch through 6-ups and 5-ups become 6-ups and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's good. That would have still, I would have still felt like they were in, like, it would have been weaker and not as just like instantly death to a lot of people who rely on their ward saves, but still giving them a real nice like role in the army. But yeah, okay. Then we got our spells, your manifestations, as it were. You got the Sanctum of Amniok, which you can set up, and it does what you think it does. It puts a little wall around them where you can't see the thing. Anyways, yes. And then they have to target the manifestation if they try to target the hero. Great. Put up your shield. Shield's up. You got the Rune of Petrification, which is still fine and fun enough. It's, D3 for each enemy unit within 6 inches. On a 2-up, you inflict an amount of mortal damage on it equal to the roll, and if it has 3 mortal damage inflicted on it, it has strike last for the rest of the turn. Again, strike last is good. You got to roll like a 5 or a 6 to make that happen, but okay, it's fine.
This is range 12 now instead of range 18. Like
Big
it used to be like
change.
24. Yeah,
Big
like
change.
that can't be overstated. Like going from 18 down to 12 for the rune is RUFF rough. So
Yep. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it earlier. It's probably worth mentioning now. I should have really talked about this at the beginning, but the when we're talking about like I wanted to jump down and look at the points for all the other stuff, like the ancillary stuff, not units. But they did readjust the silver wand and your shrine back down to 0 in this, which is relevant. However, the guardians and the pilgrims things do cost points of your battle formations, like 10 and 20 points, respectively. So just
which is
whatever.
the power through and the unlimited lore spell, by the way, for everybody.
Yep, that's right. Okay, then you got your twin stones. You cast them out, build up your little charge points whenever you cast spells, and then you can, when you declare a spell or unbind ability for a wizard within 3 inches of them, you can unleash the charge points to add that amount to your casting roll, like you do. You build up power, you use it to do something bigger later. Great. Cool. All right. And then the shrine. The shrine is the shrine. It does what the shrine does. It's like a big giant thing, and it you have a lot of abilities that say this is how you get up into the dumb thing. And like this is how you get out of the thing. Yes, absolutely. And when the person is up in it, they can drive it around still, where it can now move 6 inches.
Yep.
And importantly, it still does the thing where you get to reroll your cast for a wizard within either in it or within 12 inches of it, which is like the real reason you stick somebody in there. Other than it's neat to have shrine power armor, which is cool. Okay. Cool. Very good. Armies of Renown. Anything left or anything you want to say on the Warscrolls before we quickly go through these Armies of Renown? Boy, long show today. Long show, good show.
Yeah. No, I think we covered everything on the scrolls. I think the Armies of Renown are actually kind of cool.
These are actually like intelligently designed Armies of Renown, at least I'll say. So let's get into them. They're like actually the two I would expect, not some nonsense. Like with the Tzeentch book where I was like, where's my Warflock? That's like people love the beasts, and yet they were just like, nah. Why would we do an army of our coolest figs in this army? Don't you want to play an army with all the dumb bubblegum monsters that you could just assemble out of green stuff and just kind of like, that's a model.
That's a horror.
Yeah. Spray paint pink and done. All right. So you got your Elementary Conclave. This is your river, wind, mountain. That's what this one is. So no Venari.
That's it.
Right? And what you get here is you get world runes. And once per battle army deployment phase, effect add 1. So like, yeah. Effect, add 1 Rune of the Mountain to your library for each friendly Alorith unit of the battlefield. Add 1 Rune of the Wind to your library for each Huracan, and 1 Rune of the River for each that word on the battlefield. And you can have a maximum of 6 of each type of rune in your library. Now, this isn't the earlier ability. Remember, we don't have the original battle trait. This is a different thing. We're going to talk about what this does here. Okay. So then you've got once per battle round army, start of battle round. You must use this ability effect, remove all runes from your battle scripture, then pick any number of runes to remove from your library and depict them on your battle scripture. Runes removed from your library in this way are removed for the rest of the battle. Okay. So now you're like, you get to like pick out of the little, so weird. They write their runes in dry erase. Yep. Okay. So at the start of each battle round, you can be like, nah. Okay. Or you have to use it. You wipe them off and then you write new ones in. Okay. All right. And then you've got once per turn army, your movement phase and treat spirit. You can use this ability if you have 3 or more runes in your library. Pick a friendly non-unique monster unit that has been destroyed to be the target. Remove any 3 runes from your library, then set up a replacement unit identical to the target unit, wholly within 6 inches of a terrain feature and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. Allocate 6 damage points to the replacement units. Ward rules cannot be made for this, for those damage points. So you can call back your non-unique foxes and mountain spirits. Okay. Cool. By killing runes out of your library. If I've ever seen an army that just wanted to be as MSU as possible, just to like chock full the, just chock a block on the library, it's this one. Once per turn army. Oh, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is that I think that this is actually kind of interesting because this Army of Renown feels like it plays in reverse of the way that the normal Lumineth book plays, because at the start of the game you have all these runes in your library that you can use as you need to, like starting at round 1, whereas with the book Lumineth you build your runes up towards like the culmination turns later, whereas here, like you just said, like you just play like MSU and you have all these runes for like Adriliki and Orlai and Olathe, and you just have all of them just like ready to go turn 1, and you just burn them as you want them.
Right.
So we were joking around that you could have like 12 attack stone hammers. You could actually, in like turn 1, if you really, really wanted to. You would also lose those runes now because you've used them for the turn, but you could.
You could. Absolutely. That's right. So like, yeah, it's a very interesting sort of play pattern. Can I get to 18 units is the question I'm asking. Probably not, but it'd be fun to try. Okay. That's just not possible. There's just not, your points aren't that cheap.
Auxiliary Lumineth.
That's right. Yeah, Auxiliary Lumineth. Once per turn army, any combat phase, the realms fight back. You get to pick a terrain feature, and then pick any enemy unit within 6 inches of that terrain feature. You roll a d3, and like something bad happens to them. 2 of which are fine, and 1 of which is nothing. So don't roll a 2. That's my advice to you. Be good. Don't roll a 2. Your heroic trait is 1 to casting rolls for this unit for each unique rune depicted on your battle scripture. So that's fine. Your artifact is in any hero phase, you can pick a terrain feature to be the target and measure the range and visibility of the next spell used by this unit from that terrain feature instead of from the unit itself. Your spell lore is an enemy cast spell that lets you, or an enemy targeting spell that shuts off their ability to use commands. And they're doing this thing now. This is their new solution. This is the funniest thing to me because they did this in Zinj too. Yeah. Where they're like, well, buddy, we want to give them the whole manifestation lore, but we don't have room on the page to write all 3 spells. So instead, we'll do this weird cycle thing where you can have all of them, but never more than one of them. By the way, if this is the way manifestations worked from the beginning, like just if this is how manifestations worked, let me ask you a question. Is this how manifestations work in 5th edition? Do they all just work like this? Is this a
I hope
sneaky
so.
beta test? Yeah.
I
But
hope
you can't
so.
have like
Yeah.
multiples of out. You pick a lore and you can effectively cycle through. You can have one of them running around the table at any given point in time. Because the main feedback, I think, for a lot of around, and then like a couple super casters will have the ability to break that and like have multiples out.
Sure.
Like that's what'll happen.
Teclis and Kairos.
Sure. And like Nagash, right? Somebody like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
And everybody does. So don't feel bad. But yes,
He got
exactly.
stapled to a mountain, by the way.
He did indeed. All right. So at any rate, yeah, I like this. To me, feels like the sneakiest beta test hidden in an Army of Renown for 5th edition. Because if manifestations were pinned to only being one out of your lore on the table at any given point in time, most people would have been like, okay, manifestations are fine. We would have cut short all of the problems we've had with manifestations, except for like the dumb how do they interact with other units thing. That would still happen, but yeah.
Yeah, but when you have Purple Sun and Gravetide and Shackles and Morbid, and you just like,
right. And just like
this is cool.
All these things running around in the battlefield. I really like walking up and down the top tables at a tournament, especially throughout the period where like Morbid was really strong, or these things like that, and you just saw like just suns everywhere. Like I literally took a picture from NashCon where it was just like I took a picture from table 5 forward, okay, and there was 9 purple suns in the picture.
Yep.
Right, and I'm
Isn't
like,
that fun?
We're having fun.
Yeah. Fun and interactive.
The fun part was to find how many manifestations were fighting each other.
Oh, true. And then
Where
find a
you're getting-
Conspine and just jump in off the top rope and anti-manifestation.
Sure, yeah, the old manifestation on manifestation violence. Yes.
That's right.
Always the dumbest of all possible worlds. Okay. Great. So then our other one, if that one was all the non-Venari stuff, hey, guess what this one is? The second one is the all Venari things. So there you go. Any non-unique Venari units. But
so no twins, no Lyrior.
That's right. But don't worry, you can still include the Light of Eltharion. That's right. They knew. They knew. They had to get him in here. Okay, so this one
sell that model.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, well, we can't do a Venari thing and leave out the coolest model in the range, so that's fine. Okay. Your abilities. Once per battle army, deployment phase, rewards of valor, pick a friendly, non-unique Venari hero that does not have an artifact of power to beat the target. Give him an artifact of power. So cool. This classic thing here we like to do when we don't have any other ideas. The once per battle army, end of any turn, labor of control. You can use this ability if there is at least one different friendly unit within 6 inches of each battlefield edge. Okay, got it. Add 1 to the number of labors you have completed. For the rest of the battle, add 2 inches to the move characteristic of friendly Lumineth Realm Lords. Okay. What's a labor? Well, good question, audience. I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it.
Glad you asked.
Yeah. I do love how they label these things. Like the way they put these things in order. You're literally reading a thing and then are like, what the heck does that mean? And then you just have to like keep going to the next ability. Yeah. All right. So we got 3 abilities that are all once per battle army, end of any turn. Okay. And yeah, whatever. Here we go. So the first one is Labor of Might. You can only use this ability if 3 or more enemy units have been destroyed this battle. Add 1 to the number of labors you have completed. For the rest of the battle, add 1 to wound rolls for all of your units. And then the Labor of Precision. You can only use this ability if there are no enemy units with an artifact of power on the battlefield. Wow. Add 1 to the number of labors you have completed. For the rest of the battle, add 10 to the control scores of friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units. 10! 10, man! 10 years! 10! And then, the Blessing of Tyrion. You can only use this ability if you have completed 3 labors, meaning you're going to need to do the Labor of Control, the Labor of Might, and the Labor of Precision. If you do so, then For the rest of the battle, friendly Lumineth Realm Lords units have a ward of 5 up. That is not good enough. That is not good enough. If I get
I
to
just want
this
to point out.
point,
Yes, exactly. I have nothing left.
right? That better say ward 3 up. Okay, like that I would now maybe. This is so wild, right? So to like chart this out, you've got to get one different friendly unit within 6 inches of each battlefield edge. Again, using only Venari units, right? So it's not like you've got a Huracan, Spear of the Wind, who just like zipped over and did something, right?
Mhm.
We are talking about Wardens and Sentinels and all the goofball heroes we talked about, like the different Venari heroes, like the non-unique guys, the basic guy on his little antelope thing, right? Whatever. And the Light of Eltharion. I got to get to cover every battlefield edge. I've got to kill 3 enemy units, and one of those 3 enemy units better have been the only one they had that had an artifact. Okay. And if I've done all of that, then I get the mighty reward of a ward of 5 up. Yeah. Woof. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's definitely Dawn Riders. Yes, it's definitely Dawn Riders. I mean, 100% you've got to have Dawn Riders. Sorry, I didn't mention it, but I was just like, I wasn't meaning to make it an exhaustive list, but yes, you can use Dawn Riders as well. Which are going to be really essential for doing many of these labors, by the way.
All I have to say is that if Hercules had to do 12 of these, I have a newfound respect for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, mucking the stalls of like those big horses seems way easier than these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then your heroic trait is Master Duelist. Let's duel. Pick a visible enemy hero in combat with this unit to be the target in any combat phase. Roll a die on a 4 up. If the target has an artifact of power, it no longer has that artifact of power. It also has strike last. That's right. Don't worry. You thought you were going to have to kill something? Ha! Tricked you. You can just get
50,
this guy into combat and then roll a dice and hope. Flip that coin. What's the most you've ever bet on a coin flip? All right. So hilarious. Yeah. And then your artifacts of power, of which you have 3 because you get 2 for the reasons of having the other thing that we talked about at the beginning. The Swift Feather Talisman. So pick any friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit wholly within 12 to be the target. They get +2 inches to their move. Absolutely essential. Okay? Absolutely essential just to get these units around the table and do that one labor. The Nullstone Beads. This unit can use Unbind as if it had Wizard 1. Okay, great. And the Phoenix Blade. This unit's combat attacks score critical hits on an unmodified hit roll of 5+. Okay.
I'm going to keep it a buck. I think this is the worst Army of Renown ever.
Oh, no. There's so much worse. There's so much worse.
Oh.
The FEC book, which is a great book, has a much worse Army of Renown in it. That insane thing where you have to like walk through the 5 steps. Like in round 1, you do this dumb thing. In round 2, you do this dumb thing that are like all bad and all going to be completely erroneously timed and worthless anyways. That like goofball army. This one's bad. It's bad. Okay. But it isn't that stupid. That previous one is really dumb. I mean, this is up there. Okay. It's up there.
At some point at the end of like 4th edition, whenever we're done, we need to do a tier list of all the armies of renown.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. All right, John, mark it on your calendar.
I will.
You're coming back on the show. We're doing that. That is happening. We are going to rank. We're going to hard stack rank them. Not just tier list, straight hard stack rank, like 1 through what it would be 50, right? So there'll be 50 of them. So yeah, amazing. Oh, that sounds so much fun. The trend in this with every book is they have one that like you could actually see playing. It's not like great or competitive, but like it works. It'd be fun. You look at that and you go, that'd be fun. And then they have one that they just put in as a joke.
Yep.
Okay, this is that one.
The Wardens of the Corallium. Ah,
yeah.
Thralls. Like, ugh.
Correct. There's always one that's just like, we put that in there as a joke. We don't think anybody's going to actually take this. We put one in for lunatics. This is specifically the one for absolute mad lads. That's it. Okay, great. John, any final thoughts on Lumineth? Very good book overall, I thought. It's like, it's fun. I like the different concepts.
Yeah, I think that they moved a lot of the power around. Like, I know that that's been like one of the feedbacks that I've seen is that, folk think that, they took a lot of power out of scrolls and put it into the battle traits. But I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I do think it's true, for the record. I do think it's true. But when you can give out 5-up awards from your battle traits instead of like having it restricted to the Skinari wards on the Blade Lords, for example, or Fortitude of the Earth, because every model has to be on the objective.
Right.
Like, when you can just hand it out, I like that a lot more.
Yep. Agreed. Lichfinder General says, let's not forget about Thanquil's AOR with the self-killing monsters. I mean, I agree that one's insane, but that one tabled like cool. A bunch of tournaments. Yeah, like that one took out like tons of tournaments because people ran it with a ton of Storm Fiends, and it's just like so grotesque what it does with Storm Fiends.
Yes.
Nobody played it how they thought. Like, it's one of the ones that, yeah, they put it in there as a joke because in their mind, what was happening was Thankful was sending forth a bunch of like brood terrors and help hit abominations, and they were just like exploding and doing stuff, and everybody else is like, no, Storm Fiends all the way down. Yeah. So like, it was dumb, but it actually like was way too good, and like did got a bunch of good results. So, but yes, I accept. I read that one the first time and I was like, this is insane. Anyways. All right, John, thank you so much, brother, for coming back on the show. Absolute fun time. Thank you for doing Lumineth with me. All of you out there, thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point, you're a hero. Don't forget to hit like if you haven't already. Subscribe. Do those things. Don't forget to check out other things in the Vinci Cinematic Universe. New episode of Fireball the Gazebo is out. All about playing D&D and RPGs using the real world, or this historical world, I guess. Playing in history, maybe making it a little fantasy-like. It was a great episode. I think I sold John on like some of my favorite time periods to play in. Support the show. Click links down there. Hit up the affiliate links to pick up your hobby supplies, all of that kind of stuff. Patreon, merch store. Pick up a game, why don't you? If you're thinking about picking up a fun new skirmish game, don't forget Adam and I have our new skirmish games. The new one will be coming soon. And here's a quick shout out. Adam and I are doing a live episode of Snarlcast, our other podcast, at Adepticon, and we will be revealing our new game for this year at Adepticon, and it's going to be ripping. Let me tell you what, I am really excited about this. We are deep in the playtesting, about to wrap it up, and I am really excited. So anyways, thank you all so much. Really appreciate you watching. John, thank you again. Thank all of you. As always, we'll see you next Wednesday. And do not forget to start rolling dice.